Oh, that's awesome.
I definitely consider myself a better writer than I do DM. So, uh,
If only you could write like cue cards, index cards that quick. Just do a silent DM where you and then you just hold up a sign to us. That's what he said. So eloquent. Wish we could hear his voice.
maybe someday.
Hmm.
That's tremendous.
You know, that's what that. I mean, I don't know how complex that would have to be, but that just made me think. Kind of like in the vein of those games like Cards Against Humanity and everything like that, where there's pre-made cards. If it doesn't already exist, there should be one like that for kind of like a one-shot short campaign style thing where a DM has a deck of cards and it's like, battle actions, things like that, somehow make that work. And it could literally be like that where it's something drawn at random, card is used, players have the equivalent, like different move set or inspiration thing. You could do something like that. It'd just be a fuck ton of cards.
You can only use whatever actions you have in your hand.
Yeah, it almost reminds me. I think maybe that came to mind too. Is I had been playing one of the Kingdom Hearts recently that was all based on cards, and you
Oh
had
yeah,
cards to do your moves.
one for like Game
Chain
Boy
of
Advance
Memories,
originally.
I think. Yeah, exactly that one. Yeah,
Yep, I had that one.
yeah, that could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyone care to recap last session?
Wow.
If you guys don't mind, I can take care of that.
Oh,
Go for it.
So we were coming back from the Black Fathom Hallows, and we ran amok in town while it was burning to the ground. We helped to sort of triage the disaster that was Duncaster, and then we went to the town square and ran into some assholes. And those guys were trying to like come after us just because they thought that we were working with the Temple of Palor, which we were, but like we were told to. And then asshole Alpha turned into a fucking demon. And then that was sort of a thing. And then there was this dude on top of the one of the buildings in the town square that was like shooting. I thought it was a trebuchet because he kept doing so much damage, but it was really just a longbow. And then Chris's character, Gale of Wind, went up and tried to kill the guy on top of the building, and Riley just seriously brought the pain and took out the demon, and then we figured out that we needed to go to Windermere to figure out what else is going on, and Jacques kind of bid us farewell and took over the Tower of Walton the Learned, and sort of went after all the books. Like, was it going to be the curator of all the books? And now we're on our way to Windermere to try and pick up the pieces and figure out what happened to the Adventurers Guild.
Cool.
Yeah. So you left off at the Tower of Istus, where you had
did.
run into some demons and hellhounds.
Yeah, those guys were
found-
assholes too.
Yep. You found the note from one of the brothers there.
And time is all kinds of fucked up.
I will share.
You didn't mention that.
So the days are getting longer, and this has to be in character. But Marcus kind of figured out that the tides are all fucked up because the moons have moved, and that the days are getting longer, and that the moons are in different spots, and so that's thrown off like the tidal patterns. And once we get to Windermere, we're gonna figure out that like all kinds of stuff is just totally screwed because of the celestial changes. Either the world has moved, or a god basically picked up the moon and put it in a different spot. What the fuck?
I have a
Weird.
real great feeling that I'm going to be pretty much useless. My goddess is the moon goddess.
Or maybe more useful.
Yeah.
Okay, fine with that attitude.
I mean, maybe she's in control of the moons, or could explain it to you.
I mean, yeah, maybe you should think about praying for some answers.
Tell you what's going on.
Yeah, talk to
I'll
Pam.
be right back, guys.
I do have a spell that I can semi-talk to a god. Ish.
What is it?
That doesn't sound too reliable.
I know. Give me a second.
We lost somebody. Or was that just Mike's second PC?
As just my second.
Okay, cool.
So basic. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I can basically receive an omen from another worldly entity about results of a specific course of action that I plan to take. It's not as great as like further level spells, but it's like kind of talking to a god. Ish.
Well, I don't know this for sure, but I'm betting that if you RP the prayer really well, that our benevolent DM might feel like giving you a little bit of information.
Probably. Fingers crossed.
Right.
This is also the guy that created Smatters, so I'm not entirely sure. By the way, my little diary entries are full of Smatters.
I only got through the first page.
They were out of order, by the way. So I sent it 3, 2, 1, and how you're supposed to read it.
Okay, I'm not sure I got that.
I didn't mention it, and I forgot because I was doing it fast.
I do it fast all the time.
It's the only way to do it.
Got shit to do.
Fast and hard.
Hey, no growling. Stop it.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, that.
I'm gonna bite it off.
Whoa.
Left hand though. Okay. Okay.
Keep in mind this is all recorded, so really be careful about killing him. I've
And
been
I'm-
watching a lot of forensic files, and this'll fuck you, like being caught killing him.
You have been watching a lot of that lately, haven't
A
you?
lot. I'm almost the role of networks, like 9. Netflix is 9 collections, and each collection is like 40
Jeez.
episodes.
I'm
I went to
streaming this
sleep
live on
watching it
Twitch
last
as
night.
well.
It's creepy.
So we're live on Twitch.
What
we're
up,
live
Twitch?
on YouTube, and we're gonna be live on the iTunes podcast channel, and Stitcher, and Google Play.
What a podcast!
You just keep going at this point, and Geek and Sundry. Matt Mercer is going to make a special, appearance and do
Yes,
some
appearance.
voices for Mike. That would be insane. Like
Holy
I'd
shit.
be
I would
like, holy
cry.
shit! Yeah,
I get
that
to
dude's
meet
awesome.
I get to meet Mike Merles at Gen Con.
Nice.
Ah,
That's rad.
Rad.
I didn't
Sounds
have enough
awesome.
money to play D&D with him, so I'm volunteering at the World Builders party. So on Friday afternoon, and so I get to go do security and hand out swag and shake hands with
Stuff
Mike Merles.
we all get.
I got tickets to the Critical Role live show, but then did not have enough money to actually get into Gen Con.
Oh.
So I'm
man.
real heartbroken about that.
Well, you know what? You can just like walk around the halls.
I kind of definitely will do that. But I was like, why are you so much money? It should not cost that much money.
has the potential to cost no money if you find a company willing to pay for your badge for you.
Well, I didn't do that.
Rick
You
and I
know
are
a
in
couple
that
guys.
I didn't know that I knew anyone.
I mean, that's fair.
I don't know a single person, my guy.
Hi, Bubba.
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Give him a little kiss for me.
Ollie B. Everybody says hi to you.
All right.
Too bad we can't see him.
I love you.
So, did you guys want to get anything out of the way while you were at the ruins of the Temple of Istis, or did you want to pick up on the road?
I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think all I needed was the rest to get everything restored. So
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So, you all get a decent night rest. Presumably taking shifts, watching out for demons, but the rest of the evening is quiet. The memories of the last few hours, last day or so, weigh heavily on you, but not so heavily that you can't get some rest. The next morning you wake up and your mission, as you see it, is clear. You need to get to Windermere and hopefully find some answers, or at least some direction as to where you need to go and what you need to do to fix this horrible situation with demons and the sun staying out and the moon's moving and just, you know, general awfulness going on in Auchendale. So you travel along the Heroes Road, and it's clear as you are making your way down the road that you are on the tail of the army. The well-trodden path of the main trade road in Auchendale, known as the Heroes Road, is scattered with scraps of food, forgotten trinkets, and spoils of war that the soldiers have obviously deemed unworthy of carrying across the country. The vegetation on either side of the road is mostly blight-stricken, very similar to what you were seeing in Duncaster, a site that you have now grown accustomed to. The plants, the grass, the brush, not touched by the blackness, is brown, dry, and sparse from the hot summer sun. So, as you guys are marching, what are you doing? Are you heads down, just booking it, or are you kind of keeping an eye out? What are you doing as you make your way out?
I'm always keeping an eye out.
Yeah, definitely keeping a watch.
keeping
I have a
quiet
question.
to myself.
Is Smatters there?
Yeah, of course.
Smatters is there,
make sure.
pulling a small wagon. You're not all able to fit in the wagon, so some of you may be in the wagon, while others are walking on the side, presumably taking shifts. As people get tired, they can jump in the wagon and go back on foot.
The other thing is that because I'm a member of the College of Wanderers, we travel half again as far as a normal party would.
Cool.
I don't know if that matters, but we travel faster than a normal party.
Oh, cool.
So if we would normally travel 10 miles in a day, we make 15 because of my Bard College.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, so you know that you have a long journey ahead of you, approximately 250 miles.
Wow.
That's close.
So you
long
have days and days and days on the road, presumably. You can probably make, with your Bard College, 30 miles a day if you are, marching at a good pace for 8 to 10 hours, um, and then getting some rest, obviously. Um, so you've got, you know, 6, 7, 8 days on the road. Um, the sun, again, is just unnaturally hot. You are looking out on the fields on either side of the Heroes Road, and it's just swaths of brown. Um, Anyone that would like to make a survival or nature roll may do so.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
Let's see.
I can't
Survival
survive shit.
or nature?
Yep, whichever one you prefer to use. All right. So, Takath and Sunshine, you're looking around and kind of keeping an eye down at your feet, looking at the path that has been beaten down by an obviously large army. And you would know that based on, how set the gravel is, the army is about a day's march ahead of you. So the gravel is set for about 24 hours. Everyone else, you look, and again you're noticing the blight that is spreading across, and it ends probably about 10 to 15 feet off of the path on either side, and then it just becomes brown. And you would probably guess that the size of the army is as depicted or as described by the survivors in Duncaster, about 500 strong.
Oh my.
So if one night during like dinner or before it gets too super dark, I want to go out like 300 or 400 yards off the path, or as far as I can realistically go without getting into super deep forest and like out of shouting range, just to make sure that this blight that we see on the road and then stops. I want to make sure it stops.
Okay. Yeah, so on either side of the road is mostly like plains. So it's not a deep forest
Okay.
at all. There's very sparse vegetation, grass and brush for pretty much as far as you can see. You're about a day's out of Duncaster, so you're 35 miles outside of Duncaster, and about another day's travel ahead, you will be approaching the hill country, where it's, again, not very densely forested or anything, but definitely hillier terrain. And the blight does stop right about where the brush seems to be not disturbed. So it looks like the army's marching a little bit off trail as well, but wherever they have stopped marching so stops the blight.
I want to call Dakath over and point this out to him. Say, Dakath, is there anything that you can do that with like your druidic stuff and your connection to nature to see if this blight is being caused by the people in front of us, like this army in front of us?
I'll certainly try. Mike, can I just go ahead and kind of like, I have the ability as a Furbolg magic to actually cast Detect Magic once per short rest. Can I just kind of use that more or less in that kind of a way?
Yeah, you don't even necessarily have to cast that.
Okay, cool.
It's fairly clear that whatever this blight isn't necessarily magical. It's a disease, and go ahead and roll a nature roll for me. Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
With a 17, you will actually, upon inspecting, you're noticing that there is literally no new growth anywhere. Like even outside of the blighted area, there's no new growth of vegetation, which is very strange, especially for this time of year. But everything that's out there has been there and has some age to it.
So not only is there blight pretty much coming from both sides of the road where this army has traveled, but on top of that, beyond where the blight ends, nothing new is growing beyond what's been there before.
Correct.
Wow. So then, based on that and how it's coming back towards the road, I imagine it's pretty much irrefutable that it's this army causing this.
That is what you would think, yes.
Yeah, highly likely.
And
cool. Well, more or less, then it sounds like that can answer Marcus's question.
Yeah, and as far out as you go, you're not finding any new growth. Even, hundreds of yards past where the blight stops, you're not finding that new growth.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, definitely then. Once Marcus calls me over and asks me, I'll tell him that I don't see, basically, yeah, to Marcus, I don't see how this could be caused by anything but the troops that were following behind, and it's worse than the blight, Marcus. If you look beyond where it ends, you'll see nothing new is growing, and I'll bend down to maybe an area where it would be obvious that maybe some sort of growth would happen here, maybe like a grass that would normally spread or a weed. It's like you can see there's been no growth actually taken here, and I don't see any within the area that we're in here, and I have no doubt that the further we go, we probably wouldn't see any more either.
Is there anything that you know that we can do about this? Like, is there anything that you've run into in your years of being a druid connected to nature that we could use to try to cleanse the earth?
Nothing that I know of. I'd likely have to pray to Alona to get any sort of idea if this is even something that we can reverse with conventional means. I will say that I have a feeling that it's going to come down to those, followers of Palor or whoever they actually are. I think that's probably our only choice for reversing this.
I don't believe that they're really followers of Palor. Like,
I don't as well.
Palor's a god of the sun and of light and of good, and this shit is evil.
The longer days in the heat make me wonder, though. Palor, god of the sun, and we're dealing with this blinding heat and longer days.
Yeah, that's fair.
It does make me worry if the gods have changed favor.
Yeah, that's fair. Lyra, does your god offer any insight into this?
I mean, my god is the goddess of love. So we don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to nature-based stuff. I can always pray and ask for some guidance, but I don't know if there's anything I can do
Okay. I thought you
outside of
were
that.
a cleric of Soon. Sorry. My bad.
Well, I am a cleric of Soon, but she's a goddess of love.
I thought she was a sun god. That's my bad.
No, she's not.
Too much
Sorry.
salt water.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I could
Too
try
many-
praying to mine.
Too many raw fish. Who's your
Yeah,
who's your god?
Saloon, the moon goddess.
Yeah. Why don't you see if you can figure out what's going on with the moon? It's in a different spot. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Sunshine, go ahead and roll a religion check with advantage.
Okay. That's not good.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible. So you're making your way down the road, and the sun, of course, is still high in the sky, and you've been on the road for hours and hours and hours at this point. You would expect it to be, pretty low on the horizon. The moons themselves are almost always visible. Kochban and Ara are still in the sky, but they are definitely not in alignment with what you would expect them to be. Having studied the moons, you would notice that not only are they not in the right spot, it's more that the axis of the planet has tilted. So it's maybe not that the moons themselves have changed, because you still feel the connection with the moons and your goddess, but the position of the planet itself is different.
Okay.
That sounds bad.
Yep. So I guess I tell everyone, it feels like the Earth has shifted, like the whole axis of the planet is wrong instead of what we originally thought, of the moons being out of alignment. It is, in fact, us that is out of alignment.
Well, that's just great.
Marcus's
right?
mind is kind of blown.
Because I'm still getting a pretty decent signal. It's just off on our end.
So we moved?
I guess, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yup.
No, I barely understand anything about navigation, but wouldn't that throw off the navigators and ships and stuff?
Yeah, so Marcus has like 20 minutes on navigation and tidal patterns and, fish currents and like the different places that you have to go. And like he's got this little thing that he pulls out that like you can look through and navigate by the stars. He like starts to try to talk your ear off about this, and it's mostly like not shit that you're familiar with, but he's very passionate.
So what you're saying is there's probably a lot of people lost at sea right now.
I mean, we never went out of sight of the shore. So this wasn't something that my captain really did, but he always made sure that I knew how to do it in case, you get dropped overboard, or if you get a job on a bigger ship, you have to know how to do this. And so, yeah, if you can't see land and all you're navigating by is the sun and stars, and the time it takes for the sun to go around, and the change between day and night is your basic measurement of time, because we don't have chimes on the ship, you're completely fucked, because um your navigational charts are based around how many days you've been out at sea, and how fast you've been going, and where the positions of the stars are, and all of that's wrong now. And so there, I mean, it's everything. Everything in Hull Cove is probably completely fucked right now.
Great.
Yep.
Yep, and Gale, having sailed across the Motion Ocean, the gnomish navigators from Estragal relied very heavily on the positioning of the moon and stars on the trek across the ocean, and every trek they have out on the water. They have you remember them having these really mysterious machines and contraptions that they used to track the celestial bodies. Nothing like which Auchendale has really ever seen. So you would hope maybe they were able to tune those machines, or notice the changes, but definitely if they did not, if they haven't checked that out, then they're probably heading in the wrong direction based on what the skies look like today.
And that's concerning.
Yeah.
What is going on?
A bunch of fuckery.
Is that directly from your god? Bunch of fuckery.
Paraphrasing.
Got it. That's an interesting god you have there.
When it's celestial fuckery, you really have to worry.
All right, so it's been a long day's journey. You set out fairly early. The sun, again, rose way earlier than you would have expected. And the sun is still pretty high in the sky. And you've been out on the road for at least 10 chimes. Although the absence of chimes at first was very disconcerting to you, because you've been living with the chimes for so long. It was just part of life, hearing that faint ring in the distance, counting the hours of the day, and without that, it seems eerily quiet. And it would you would think there would be another tower somewhere down the road, but still silence. You're cresting a hill, and as you crest the hill,
Oh.
So cool.
You see a small farming village in the distance. The sound of dinner bells ring out into the air, and even from the distance you're at, several hundred yards down the road, you smell the savory aroma of roasted boar. Signpost reads Badu Farms.
Okay.
So you guys are down at the, we'll say the southeast corner of this map here. On one side of you, on your right side, are wheat fields, and on your left side is an orchard of some kind, trees with bright red fruit dangling.
Is this fruit I've seen before?
It's a little far away for you to tell exactly what the fruit is.
Okay. I'm not that concerned.
You guys can all go ahead and make a perception check.
Come on. I will not.
I perceive
Hey.
everything.
I think everything seems fine,
Chelsea
guys.
sees more than you.
With my special eyes.
Like, holy shit. Natty 20.
I critted too. Or no, I didn't. Never mind. I thought I did.
I'm frozen.
Boo.
Oh, here we
Wah,
go.
wah,
It's
wah.
gonna work. Oh, I got nothing.
All right, so Sunshine, you are fixed on the waving fields of golden wheat.
Because I'm easily distractible.
It is a little bit shocking to you, based on the conversations that were had earlier about the no new growth, and the blight that had been striking all of the vegetation around. These wheat fields look very healthy and very plenty. Marcus, you're looking at the fruit dangling from the orchard, the trees in the orchard. Bright red, beautiful, and as you approach a little closer, you notice that they look like delicious, crisp apples. And it strikes you again after having that conversation with the Takath several hours ago. And from your conversations with Balin the Bold a few days ago, nothing in Central Auchendale has had a large bounty. No farmers have had any luck growing anything. So it strikes you as very peculiar that this farm seems so plentiful.
Hey guys, this is super fucking sketchy. I literally hate this.
I've seen crates upon crates upon crates of apples come through the ports at Hull Cove, and maybe 2 out of every crate are this ripe and delicious looking. And every
Why-
one of these motherfuckers looks like that.
Yeah, why is none of this dead? I am getting the worst feeling, and like the fur on the back of my neck is like kind of starting to stick up, and I'm getting very, very uncomfortable, and I kind of like go towards Smatters and put my hand on his little horse neck.
So do we keep going through this? Or do we try and avoid these?
It's the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
It is the end of the day. You've been on the road for 10 hours or so, so presumably you're pretty exhausted. If you would like to keep going, you will require several constitution checks to not suffer some fatigue.
Maybe we can play it cool and try to offer some, I don't know, like help picking some of the apples if you give us some of them.
I just don't
I'm not sure I would trust even eating them at this point.
No, I don't
This
want
is
to
too
talk.
strange.
I don't want to talk to anyone. If we can somehow camp out of sight, that'd be awesome. But I don't want to even interact with anyone.
Aren't you a little
It's giving me-
curious as to
No.
how they avoided everything dying? I mean, maybe it's probably something bad, but what if it's something good and could help us
I'm just getting a
figure
really
out?
bad feeling. So if you guys want to do it, that's fine. But I will stay back.
Does anybody smell
Mike,
that?
is there no blight coming off of the side of the road like we've been dealing with for most of this journey? Is it just like this place is picturesque as all hell?
Yeah, it
Yep.
snuck up on you. You noticed. You now notice that about 100 yards back, right before the grain fields or the wheat fields, that the blight started to fade and dissipate. The road is still definitely disturbed, as though a large crowd or army had walked through. But
They did come through here, but the blight stops.
So I've got an idea.
Shoot.
Gail, how do you feel about doing some recon?
Oh, I love doing recon.
So I can cast invisibility on you, and I can also cast enhance ability on you, and give you advantage on dex checks. Or do you have pass without trace?
I do.
So I could cast invisibility on you, and then you could cast pass without trace, and you could like go see everything, and they won't even notice because you're so fucking stealthy.
I like that idea.
Sunshine, how do you feel about doing at least like letting Gale doing some recon?
Like I said, you guys can do whatever you're gonna do. I'm getting a bad feeling, so
See, that's
Me too.
That's what I like about this plan, though, is that I trust the instincts of my fellow Tabaxi. Yet I'm also curious about what's going on here, and I'm considering that it could be helpful, like Maggie was saying. So
There's two concerns real quick with the plan here, guys. Pass without trace, you got to keep within 30 feet. So are you planning to go along as well, Marcus?
I don't have to keep within 30 feet to cast invisibility on him. I was going to just let him go.
He was going to do pass without trace.
Yeah, he can do pass without trace on himself.
Okay, and then the other thing, and this is just, I guess, to Sunshine more than anything, is I'm with you with this. This definitely seems kind of odd. However, if there's something this town has or is doing differently that stops the blight from destroying it, we've got to try to find that out. This could be a way to actually defeat this blight potentially.
Wait. I have a spell. I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Ooh.
Yeah? Should we do that? Can I do that?
Yeah, do it up.
You detect it, and then I'll dispel it, because I've got that and Detect Magic.
Or
This whole place goes to shit real quick.
I have another spell. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Augury?
Augury.
By casting either gem inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, or employing some other divine tool, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following possible omens, and then it just has a list of what they can say, and I have the thing right here. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as casting additional spells or the loss of or gain of a companion. So I can either do that or Detect Magic.
It's pretty fucking obvious that it's magical, right?
It's gotta be magical. There's a mage or something that lives here, or
There's some shit.
there's some fuckery.
There we go. If you don't want to burn it, I can go ahead and detect magic, and it doesn't reduce any of my spell slots as a.
But I think
it's a fireball magic thing.
I mean, I think we have come to the general. I mean, what else could it be other than magic?
Divine intervention.
Mm.
I mean, it could literally, yeah, it could be something other than. I mean, let's do it. Let's knock it out. If it's magic, then I still would like to know what kind of magic, because after talking to Marcus, that's all I can think about is how do we stop this blight if it doesn't turn out it's these creatures causing it somehow.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. And then once you do that, I can do my spell. I'm cool with burning that spell slot, honestly.
Cool.
Cool.
Detecting the magic.
Let's detect some magic. I'm gonna concentrate my face off, Mike.
All right, so do you have to make any roll for that, or is it just...
It doesn't look like it. Yeah, I just concentrate.
Concentrate super hard.
All right, so...
Kagebushin no jutsu. Nerd.
What do you do to basically detect the magic? What are you...
Given how I am, with nature and druids and good stuff like that, I'm literally going to kind of kneel down to the ground, hands on the ground, not like pressed completely down to the palm, almost like just fingers kind of bowing towards the ground, close my eyes and concentrate, looking in the direction of the village and the wheat field and all of that. I could look at the orchard, but I figure that if it's going to be of a source, it's probably over there. So I'm going to try to focus over there and just kind of whatever I'm picking up, I'm literally picking up from like the earth, the air, the surroundings in a very natural hippie way. Man.
All right, man.
All right, man.
So,
peace and love, man.
As your
like some shit, man.
As your fingers kind of touch the ground, it's very clear to you that there is some sort of an enchantment on the ground. To you, it feels almost as though it were a blessing. And for as far as your mind can reach, which is several hundred yards out in a circle, you feel this blessing enchanting the ground and the vegetation and the earth, and even the air feels blessed to you.
Okay. While I'm still kind of kneeling there with my eyes closed, I'm going to convey that to everybody else that just this, whatever this is, it's not malicious. I feel more like it's a positive force causing this area to be enchanted and not affected by the blight. This doesn't feel evil. I don't know if I can go as far as to say that, since you said it feels like a blessing, but it does not feel like a bad force.
Pandan did it.
What?
It's still weird that I wouldn't have come through and stomped this village after what they did to Duncaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as I'm pretty much rising my feet too. So if you've more or less said what I was thinking, I'll jump on that and be like, I agree. They destroy our town despite, the Church of Palor. Maybe they were aiming for that, but they don't stop in a place that for some reason is so magically enchanted that their blight can't survive. That doesn't make sense.
Maybe they don't know they're causing the blight.
I mean, I guess it's possible.
Okay. So do we want to see if it could be a good thing of you guys going to inspect? Because I still get a really bad...
Oh, that's your omen thing you were talking about, right? To see whether or not it's a bad idea to go forward with the plan?
Yeah,
let's do the omen thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and if necessary, I can do invisibility on somebody too, so we could send 2 people into town.
Yeah, Okay.
They could double up, keep within 30 feet of each other.
We have to get the plan, so let's just do it 1 person for right now. I have a deck of cards.
Cool.
That
so with the idea in your mind of like...
Of just you going.
Just Gale, right?
Yeah.
Gale was going to go.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just Gale going. There you go.
Cool. Give me a second. That's not correct. Let's do
You basically doing like a
Okay.
tarot card reading.
pretty much.
Kind of like what you said. Yeah.
So I don't have to roll for anything. The DM just tells me.
Freaking Miss Cleo over here.
Yep. So
Call me mercy.
so you're using a deck of cards.
Yes.
So you lay out several cards in front of you and do whatever ritual it is that you do to divine this omen, and you flip over a card, and it's very clearly a wheel card, so a good result. It is a card that depicts family and trust.
All right.
You also flip over another card.
Fuck.
And it is the card that signifies ignorance and youth.
The Fool, perhaps.
It's not like tarot. I know what he's talking about. Okay. Do I get anything else?
That is what you get.
Okay. So basically, so I do my reading, and then I point to the cards. I say, this one's wheel. That's a good omen. It's depicting family, trust, good vibes all around. But this one is ignorance and youth. So take that as you will. I think that so I mean it's a good and a bad. It's wheel and woe. I still am iffy about it because of the woe. But if you guys want to maybe send another person, I would feel a little more comfortable, I think, because of that. So the person so that Gale isn't going alone. So if we want to send anyone else, potentially Riley, I don't know.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, I'll go.
My first thought too.
I'm down.
I would feel better about that.
All right,
Cool.
Decath, huddle up. You gotta cast invisibility.
Yep, I'm putting that also on. What you're getting, Gale, and I'm hitting Riley. It sounds like.
Yep.
Cool. Consider it done. Bam.
And then I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace. As long as Riley stays within 30 feet of me, we should not be leaving any tracks behind us.
Cool. I can do that. I figured we'd be right next to each other.
Yeah, just to throw it up there too, since I'm looking at my spell list. Yeah, right. There you go. Within 30 feet, plus 10 to your stealth checks.
Sweet. So,
You guys are gonna be stealthy as fuck.
where are you guys going?
Real quick, I want to be like, I want us who are staying behind to just like be ready for anything.
Well, I imagine then before Riley and Gale leave, if something goes wrong, how do you plan to let us know?
Oh,
Someone
I really hope you
scream.
don't have to, but
maybe not scream.
classic like caw. You can jump. You just jump into the air and then like light a torch. You're like, this is a fucking flare.
I am the flare.
So
See that
Gale,
comment
you
that just
light
went
Riley
down
on
the town?
fire.
Boom! There it is.
Hold on.
And
Whoa,
then-
whoa, whoa. Hold on. Wait a second.
You're gonna take a little fire damage. It's fine.
It's only a
Yeah.
little bit of fire damage.
little bit. Well, Gail, can't you also like if something were just like going down? Don't you have like feline agility or something?
I was gonna say I am wicked fast.
Yeah,
so
you're super fast. So you run faster, and I'll run as fast as I can.
If something goes down, we'll see them running out of this
Yeah.
town like.
Right, I will run up on everyone.
So Riley will
that they'll
jump
be
up.
invisible, so we won't see them.
Run up it.
Invisibility ends if you cast a spell or attack.
Okay.
all right.
There's only one other thing I could think of, which is just kind of getting ridiculous with a new spell that I got. If you guys would like, I'm sure we could come up with something like I've got like I could cast it on a dagger. I have the ability to cast daylight onto an object, and so long as that object is covered up, that daylight is basically extinguished. So I could literally cast it on a dagger outside of its sheath, and once it's put back in the sheath, it will be like a normal dagger. But if you needed to, you could pull that out and flip it as far as you possibly could, maybe throw that thing, and it'd be a 60-foot radius sphere of light that is bright as all hell. So
Brighter
as close
than
as we
what
can
it
get.
is out right now?
Well,
With
it's
the
Brighter
sun
than
being
noonday
weird?
sun?
yeah, that's the thing is it's the end of our day, but has the sun gone down?
No.
the sun is still up.
Oh, so yeah, that's not going to help that much.
Um,
It's not like we're waiting until it gets dark, so never mind.
I have a third level spell that I can use called Sending. That will allow me to send a message, and then the recipient can reply immediately. So if they're not back in a set amount of time,
Oh,
I
there we
can
go.
do
That's
that.
great. You can ping
Yeah.
them basically.
That's a good
I
idea.
like that.
Sweet.
That'll
There we
work.
go. So how long?
Yeah.
And
So
then
pass without trace lasts an hour.
All right. Well, if you guys aren't back within an hour,
How
I'm
long?
gonna try.
Okay.
I imagine
um,
getting to the town will be no more than like 5 minutes, 5 minutes out. So basically, give them 45 minutes and then ping them.
Okay.
Tight dudes.
Cool. And considering Riley's keeping up with Gale to maintain the pass without trace, yeah, 45 minutes from now, or 50 minutes from now, or whatever, hit up Gale. That way, Gale can let Riley know.
The range on this is unlimited.
Nice.
So as long as they're, I can send the message across any distance and even to other planes of existence. But if the target
Holy
is on a
shit.
different plane than you, there's a 5% chance the message doesn't arrive.
Dude, this is like ye olde cell phone service. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Why don't you
Just
just
text
hit
it.
up? Like, why are we even going to the town to talk to somebody? Why can't you just like? Bleh? I imagine you got to know the person. There's got to be some sort of weird thing. That
Yeah,
makes it so you can't
the
just
person
talk
has
with
to know
anybody.
you because they hear
There
the
you go.
the creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately.
Interesting.
So if it doesn't know you, I assume it doesn't work because otherwise bards
It
would
works,
be scaring
but-
people in their beds all the time.
It works, but they know it's you, but why the fuck would they respond?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So you'd literally just use it to troll people.
Well,
If
and
you
I don't
were
know who to
hitting up
send it
people
to.
You don't know.
Like I don't know who to send it to. Like I could send something to my old ship's captain and try and find out something, but like
That is so cool. I like that.
I mean I don't know anybody in Windermere. I've never been there before.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Cool. Let's get the plan underway then.
All right, let's do this.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I want to head towards. I'm going to kind of, instead of going over the path, I want to go around these hills here. Or how would I do that? Where's my tools? Arrows. Here we go. So I kind of want to go like back this way, and just going up to like the windows and seeing if I can see or hear any people, or if we see any people walking around. Just see if we can gather any information. And I'm curious, how far apart are the buildings? Because I don't know if Riley can be looking in another building at the same time, or if we've got to kind of stick together.
So from building to building is 20 or 30 feet, like these two big buildings.
Okay.
It's kind of as depicted. So, 30, 40 feet here.
So there's a pretty big gap.
But so as you guys approach the hills, right about there, you start to notice children running around by in between this little pond and the tree, playing with wooden swords and laughing and cavorting. Um, the dinner bell rings out again. It's been several minutes since it had rung out before. You guys took some time to scope out the area, and you hear the voice of a woman shout out and say, "Time for dinner, kids! Come on into the house. We got nice, fresh roasted boar." And the kids kind of mumble and grumble because they're having fun and they're not wanting to go back.
It doesn't seem terribly sinister.
I don't like kids though. I'll stay away from them.
Yeah.
No touchy.
So there's 4 or 5 kids that were out playing. You saw the one lady that rang the dinner bell and called out to the kids. As you move around the little village, you see probably a dozen more adults and a few more kids. All kind of like the adults are putting away tools and finishing up work for the day, and heading towards the main house where the dinner bell had been rung.
I kind of want to look around and see, are there any like message boards like we used to have in Duncaster that would have news or anything like that? I'm curious if they've noticed anything wrong with the sky or the days.
There is no message board. As you're making your rounds, it looks as though there's at most 1 or 2 families, 1 or 2 large families that make up this village. It's really more of a farmhouse, like a plantation. That makes up this little settlement.
It's a cult. Just putting that out there.
But
Cult.
no message board that you can see.
So we're not getting a lot of information being out here. Do you want to try sneaking into one of these buildings, Riley?
Yeah, which one? Were you thinking one in particular? I guess
The one with that.
Are they all
Hmm?
so are they all going to like one like main house where like dinner is, so everywhere else is empty? Or
They're all heading towards this big house, the house nearest to the pond, and clearly the largest house on the plantation. Everyone seems to be filing in that direction.
can we tell what these little buildings are over here? Are they just houses or?
They look, for the most part, like barns and stables, although there are a couple shacks that look like little homes.
Okay. Gail, what do you think? Should we check out one of like the larger houses or?
So we could try looking in one of the empty ones. I don't know what we might be looking for, what we'd find. I'm almost wondering if we should go in and see if we can overhear any conversations where all the people are.
You want to try like sneaking around the
We're invisible and we're passing without trace. I think we could pull it off.
Okay, then yeah. I mean, like, yeah, because I don't know. These seem kind of like fishy and like culty and weird. So like, I want to try to sneak by and see if we can hear like, I don't know, some weird like prayer type thing or something like that. especially if they're all meeting in the same place.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hear him like
so,
speaking in tongues and shit.
Yeah, backwards. Crushed it.
Hated that being in my ears.
Crushed it.
You, as you approach the main house, you see dozens of people gather around a very large table in the main room of the building. They're all sitting down and kind of situating themselves around a very, very appetizing spread of food. There's all sorts of side dishes, and in the center of the table there's a huge boar, almost like fully intact, like a hog roast, just plopped in the middle of the table, and sitting there with a ripe, juicy apple shoved in its mouth. They're all gathering around and holding hands, and the woman at the head of the table says, "All right, now everybody, bow your heads. We're gonna say a prayer."
It's a cult, you guys.
We can't hear this.
That's why I'm just keeping on mute, so I shut up. I'm like, I don't know any of this.
She bows her head, and you hear a short prayer. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but the gist of it is, and we thank Father Parthney for blessing our lands, and we wish Paylor's blessing upon their training exercise on their way out west.
Fucking cult.
And may we eat plenty so we can harvest plenty tomorrow. And they all raise their heads, release hands, and sit down and start to eat.
I just look over at Gale real confuzzled, but also
Can you even see?
Paylor, huh?
It almost seems like they might be helping to supply that army. I don't know. Are there, if wondering if there's any signs that, if that maybe one of the reasons this place wasn't destroyed was would this have been friendly to that army? Is there any signs that a lot of people stayed here recently?
It does not appear.
I don't know what else to look for.
It does not appear as though the army stopped here for any length of time. You do notice some of the footsteps from the main road do come up from the road towards the building in this direction, but it's not a large amount. It looks like a good portion of the army stayed en route and didn't stop for very long.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really.
No, I'm sorry. What was the name of the person that she mentioned that prayer?
Father Parthney.
Parthney.
ParthnI.
Trying to find his house.
Does Father Parthney does he live in, like, is he in the mess hall building with them, or Does he
You
have
don't-
his own house,
You
or
don't know that. It seems as though they were. So the prayer was thanking Father Partheny for the blessing, and and wishing a blessing upon him
they're training or something?
and their training. Yes, it's though they were not speaking to Father Partheny,
Just about.
just about him.
Does it look like? I mean, does from what we can see from kind of sneaking around the town, does it look like Father Partheny lives here? Like, does he have his own little place here, or
It would not appear so.
hmm. Is there like a head of the town that we can see at all, or that we can kind of tell that he's the sort of leader, or she, or whoever?
As far as you could tell, the woman that was leading the prayer is the leader, at least from what you can tell.
We didn't by
and,
chance.
We didn't by chance. Is a stretch.
Okay. Just kind of the, I don't know.
The matriarch.
Yeah. Mother figure.
She's the HBIC.
Yeah, there you go. We didn't by chance see her. Was she already in like the mess hall when we walked up?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
She was also the one that rang the dinner bell.
Okay.
And called for the kids.
I mean, I kind of want to see if we can get into one of these bigger houses then. Can we? Gail, what do you think?
That's a good idea. Yep.
I mean, you can get into either one. Doors are left unlocked, as though they really have nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fairly remote farm, so you can get in, and it's fairly modest accommodations. There are several bunk beds, some foot lockers. There's a desk with a tome on it, and it's very clearly a religious text from House Paylor. And
Okay.
you do notice a few other religious trinkets and items that signify that these are people that are very devout Paylor followers.
Okay. Nothing like crazy, interesting, or valuable.
No, there's notably very little of value.
Yeah, I figured as much. Darn. Okay.
Let's run over and check this house over here then.
The other one, yeah. Let's take a look. I mean, is it kind of the same thing, or?
Yep, same thing. The three houses all appear fairly similar here in the main part of the settlement. Looks like the main sleeping quarters for what would appear to be families.
Okay. What about these little? Is there anything interesting about the pond? Just because it's right there, or is it just a pond?
Just a pond. The smaller buildings over by the bridge.
Yeah.
The large one is a stable. There are a few horses and a couple oxen. And then there are two that appear to be storehouses. One is packed to the brim with fresh wheat. That is just piled in there. The other one is filled with crates of apples. And then the other two buildings over there are small shacks with crude cots. And you will actually notice that within those, there are in each one person sleeping.
Huh. Why wouldn't they be eating with the others?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird that there's like only a couple, and that's in one of the like smaller buildings off on kind of to the side.
There's two smaller shacks that are their sleeping quarters. There's one window, and in each one is a sleeping person. You can't really make out, age, gender, race, or anything like that, because it is obscured to the point where you wouldn't be able to see that without going inside.
Okay. That's that one. I don't know. Gil, I mean, town doesn't really have much to offer, but it's still really weird that their crops and everything aren't doing so well.
And it's like we haven't been able to find anything to indicate that realize that there's anything amiss at all. They just seem to be going through the motions of like normal life, which is kind of strange given what we've experienced recently.
Yep.
I'm kind of at a loss. What do you think we should do?
We could I don't know. It's like we could try making a noise and waking up one of these sleeping people and see how they react and what they do. It's just like, why would you be sleeping if it's still daytime and everyone else is eating food at a big feast?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to do? Knock on the door? Ding dong.
I don't know. Knocking on the door. I don't feel like knocking on the door is a good idea. I can do. Let's see here. I can do minor illusion as a cantrip.
Oh, okay.
So I could create a sound.
Too.
Yeah, I could create a sound. It can be a voice. It could be an animal's sound. It could be like a drum. Any sound I can think of, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Whatever you think would do the trick, I guess.
What if I let's see here. Can I if there's a window, can I make the sound? I'm gonna look to see the details of this. If I can make it sound like it's coming from inside the house, or would I have to be inside the house?
No, you can do that.
So I'm wondering, what if I just did like a louder version of the dinner bell inside the house? It might be a familiar sound that wouldn't be too out of place, but just a little bit louder to maybe rouse them if they didn't hear it when the woman was doing it outside earlier.
Sure. Yeah. So the sound of the dinner bell rings from within the small shack, and the figure in the cot stirs and lifts his head up, and you see a kind of pale bluish sallow skin tone with pointy ears lift his head up tiredly with a look of confusion on his face, and he shakes his head and mumbles something in a language you don't understand, and lays his head back down.
Does this look like any type of race or that I have seen before? Or
you would almost say elf. However, you've never seen an elf with skin tones such as that.
So, Riley, have you ever seen anyone like that?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I've kind of traveled around a little bit. It doesn't seem familiar off the top of my head, but I mean, they look like elves, just like darker. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like kind of a dark blue or a pale blue skin tone.
Hmm.
I,
Um, I mean, can I like roll to see if I do know?
Yeah, you can roll history.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you've heard stories about a subterranean elven race uh, that people call dark elves, but it's kind of a racial slur, um, calling them dark elves. But that's really all that people really know them by.
Huh. Okay.
You wouldn't necessarily expect them to be out on this farm, though. That seems really weird to you.
this seems really out of place. Yeah.
How many of them are there again? Three?
There's one in each of the two buildings. So
Okay.
there's two.
Gotcha.
Well, I heard that woman's voice pretty clearly, calling the children earlier and during the prayer. Could I cast illusion again? This time mimicking her voice and um, uh, calling them to the main building.
Hmm. Or at least one of them.
Yeah, just the one that we just roused with the dinner
Oh.
bell sound.
What do you say? What do you have the voice say?
Um, didn't you hear the dinner bell? We need you to join us immediately.
So the elvish man lifts his head up again and shakes his head and kind of rubs his temple. Um, Again, a very confused look on his face, and he stands up from his cot and shuffles over to the door, um, and cracks it open, sticks his head out, and and he says, "Silas, your mother is calling you. Get to the main house." And he slams the door and lays back down on the cot.
Does Silas leave?
Yeah, we look around to see if
There's no one out there. It's pretty clear to you that that if the woman's voice calling, he wouldn't respond to it. He wouldn't expect to be called to dinner.
Because he is dinner?
I don't think so. Can are these three little buildings all within like 30 feet or so? Like, I kind of want to just like peek into like can we tell which one like Silas is apparently living in or sleeping in?
So you don't think Silas is over here? Silas, you would think, is one of the kids that has already gone over there. So again, this man is very confused by the dinner bell and the voice, and he's thinking that one of the kids is just staying around when he shouldn't be. But
Oh. Um.
I'm going to cut back to the other group really quick. Down on the road, you notice an oxen and a cart heading
Crap.
down back towards the village or the plantation, and another what you can tell it looks like a man riding the cart with a basket or a wagon full of wheat.
Has he seen us?
You hear the wheels crinkling on the gravel road, and he doesn't look like he's seen you yet, but he is heading in your direction, and unless you take some measures, he will definitely see you here in the next several feet.
Let's hide.
I mean, we've got a whole wagon, so I don't know how we really hide, guys.
Well, Smatters has his super fast horseshoes on. So we can either hide in this crazy, awesome wheat field, or we can go into the fruit trees. I mean, there's cover on either side of us.
At least try and hide.
Cool.
So you are going to have a heck of a time getting the wagon over towards the orchard, because there is a fence, a rocky fence that lines the entire way unless you go all the way up towards the village itself. If you would like to get into the wheat fields, you would have to go through the opening right here, which would put you directly in his line of sight because he is actually coming down that way.
I'm sorry, where are we? My computer froze.
So you guys are about right here.
Okay.
He is heading this direction towards the farmhouse.
I mean, I guess we could like pretend like we're like broken down or like super exhausted. I mean, there's no way for us to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fake this one. Quick, Sunshine, look like you're trying to stick something out of Smatter's shoe or something.
If we need to pretend to be broken down, I think we can do that. Somebody break one of the wheels on the wagon.
Don't break anything,
then we will
you guys.
actually be broken down.
I have a mending ability as a cantrip. I can restore it easily, just literally like hocus pocus magic. So why don't we break one of the spokes so that it looks convincing if he comes down here?
I swing at the wheel with my mace.
There we go.
like the god is like break the wheel, and I am immediately just like, okay, bing.
Immediately, without any explanation of as to why, just bam.
Yeah, you smash it, and then as I look over to Marcus, like he's wide-eyed, I go, I can fix it.
I have mending too. What the fuck?
Blind
Oh,
face.
there we go. You and I will rub the spokes together. Diggity.
What does Smatters think of it?
That sounds dirty.
Yeah, totally.
Do I have to roll to attack a wheel, or is that just broken now?
No, I'll give it to you.
You critically miss and hurt yourself.
You break a spoke.
It's broke as fuck.
You know what? Just roll in case you
God.
get
How much to break it?
Or in case she gets a 20 and blows the wheel right off and like over the hill.
That's yeah.
Well, it wasn't a natty 20, but that was a pretty severe hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You break a spoke pretty significantly, but nothing that mending can't fix.
Nice.
So you smash it, and now you're all, I assume, probably acting cool and calm as the oxen, uh, the ox-driven wagon with a man standing at its helm approaches across the berm here. And
I whisper to Marcus, "You do the talking."
I walk over to Sunshine and try and flatten the fur on the back of her neck. Be cool. It's fine.
And as he gets a little closer, you
I put my tail in your
as
hand.
well notice a tall, lean man with a pale blue complexion, very angular features, very gaunt, long pointy ears, and eyes, almost a black gloss. And he takes notice of you, and he gives a friendly wave. And he hops down from the wagon and kind of bounds over the wall and shouts towards you. He says, "Hello, travelers."
Hello, good sir. Well met.
Yes,
Well met,
I
dude.
see you've busted a wheel.
Well, it's fortunate that we busted it in such a beautiful place.
Yes, Badu Farms. Yes, my lovely employers keep a very nice farm.
So you work here? These are this is your home?
Yes, we live and work here under the light of Palor, and the Badu family takes care of us.
And this is one of the drow, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's not often that you see one of your kind so far from home, and I sort of lift up my hat and show them my ears are pointy too. Being a half elf myself, it can be difficult for an outsider to find a home under the sun.
I agree wholeheartedly. I and my brothers traveled Auchendale for years in exile, and I'm sure as your friends know here, I see you have the cat and the furbolg and the demon lady, or the demon lady's not with you, but the furbolg and the cat. I'm sure you know. It's a tough world out there, but the Badus, they're good people, and they brought us in, gave us a roof over our heads, good food, and
a good
honest
harvest, obviously.
and honest work. Yes.
And I sort of look over my shoulder at the orchard and say, "We've been traveling a while from Duncaster. Have you heard the news?" Knowing that news is probably not something that they've heard, but
Right.
it's also currency in these parts, probably.
News? No, the last I heard was that they were having a struggle with their harvests, but that's about all I've heard from those parts.
Dire news from Duncaster. Do you have a few moments? Can you stay and talk?
Oh, well, certainly. I've it's the end of my day, just bringing in my harvest and throwing it in the barn, and I'm going to lay down my head. It's been a long day, but I would love to speak. Would you like to come to the village? I'm sure Miss Arietta would love to have visitors.
There goes the hair on Sunshine's neck again.
Just pushing it down again, flattening it.
It's gonna be hard for us to come to the village. This horse, even though he seems common, is a member of the family, and we're loath to leave our cart behind. Um, Perhaps you could just stay a minute and speak, and then convey our presence to Miss Arietta, Lady Arietta.
Oh, certainly. I have another ox that could come and drag your wagon. Um,
It's broken.
it's a strong ox, I tell you.
Very well, very well. Um, is there a place where we could set up our camp, where we would not be in the way, and not disturb your fields?
Well, I certainly hate to speak for my dear master Badu, but uh, there's always room for guests at the Badu family farms. We we keep several beds empty.
Meaning no offense, of course, but we've had several um, rather disturbing encounters of late, and we prefer to keep our own camp and keep our own watches. We would love to speak and we would love to talk and would love to share news, but we would prefer to keep our own camp.
I I hate to hear about your tough times, and I'm here to listen as much as I can. Indeed.
Well,
Um,
when was the last time you had news from Duncaster?
well, we had a traveling army come through here not too long ago on a training procedure. They said, and they mentioned nothing of Duncaster.
Were there more of them than seemed like there should be for a training exercise? We've
I
heard.
I know nothing of the ways of the military.
Were there a
Uh,
lot of them?
oh, scores.
We've heard about 500 travels in that force. Does that sound about right to you?
I, yeah.
Um, we fear, and I don't know how far outside of the village you regularly travel. And I point back the way we came. There is a blight that is spreading along the road behind the army. I don't know if it's in front of them, but it's definitely where they have been. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I I have not. I apologize. I work the fields and the orchard and go no further than that. I have no reason to.
Understood. Um, Friend, thank you for your time, and please convey our greetings to Lady Arietta, and humbly request that we may join you for a meal and camp here in this lovely lovely village of yours.
Absolutely. Let me bring my harvest in, and I will speak with the lady, uh, and I will return with tools to repair your wheel, just as
Thank
soon
you.
as I may.
Thank you.
So back to Gale and Riley.
Before you do that, can I roll insight real quick just to see if he was fucking with me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I do not trust this guy.
Did he say they hosted the army that came through, or they just simply saw an army that came through?
He said they saw them.
Okay. I still don't understand why the army wouldn't have leveled this place.
So
Taylor.
Marcus, you don't
I
get,
guess so.
you're not getting any negative vibes from him. He seems, I mean, it's strange to you that a drow is so friendly. And it
Yeah, that is
seems-
strange as fuck. I mean,
it
he seems
seems-
like he's probably charmed.
So, I mean, of course, nothing really surprises you these days. Having aligned with the dragon, and all of this business. So
Every other time and I'm going, off of canon here, but every other time I've had any interactions with a drow as Marcus, I'm assuming that they were taciturn and business only or completely negative. I mean, I'm sure that they're fine to deal with in the port when you're buying and selling stuff, but it's probably outside of like trading goods and services for money. It's all negative.
It's
Is he within range? Or did he leave already?
he is heading back to the cart and
Okay.
getting that way. Now, it is very, very odd to see a drow at all. They don't really interact, and honestly, most people, don't even really believe that they're around because they're just not seen. So it is strange to see.
Yeah,
I've only heard about them thanks to living in the forest with elves and having elven parents. I've never met a drow personally.
I mean, if I wasn't from a port, or not from, but if I hadn't spent 10 years in a port, I may not know what they are.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. Are you just kind of thinking as your character right now, or are you kind of saying some of this out loud as we're grouped up?
No, I'm saying this to you guys grouped up, kind of under my breath.
Well, then I would also kind of nod in agreement with you. It's like I agree. All I've heard about when it comes to the drow are exactly as you said, that normally there's always something off, some sort of other motivation.
Those motherfuckers are evil.
I don't like him. I don't
Me
like the
neither.
fact that he kept trying to get us to go back there.
I hope you guys don't mind me saying that we need our own camp.
No, that's
No, that definitely makes sense. Sunshine would have gone up a tree had we tried to go into that town. So
I tightened my grip on her tail.
No, I'm like cutting off circulation to your arm because my tail is wrapped around you so tight.
No, I definitely want to keep us together as much as possible. And he hasn't seen Riley and Gail yet, so he doesn't necessarily need to know how many of us there really are.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, maybe you want to send them a message to come back now, and
Possibly.
like quickly and quietly.
Okay.
How long has it been approximately, would you say? Have we come up to about 45 minutes between our side stuff and their side stuff?
You're probably about half an hour.
Give him a few more
cool.
minutes.
I just
we agreed on 45 minutes. I know this is weird, but it's going to take some time for Buddy Drow to go drop the Browns off at the Super Bowl and get.
Yeah, and they're well hidden thanks to the spells and stuff. So let them take full advantage of it.
I don't know very much about football, but I don't think the Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
It's a poop joke.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So back to the invisible folk.
Is that a politically correct term?
What? Where's my X card?
What are you putting an X card out for? My poop joke?
No.
Gail, what are we doing? What
are we doing?
I'm still trying to think of what else we could look for to try and learn.
I kind of want to. I don't know.
If he's that groggy and going back to sleep already, it's like we could probably go in and see if he's got any weapons or other information in this hut, because this is the most different thing we've noticed so far in anything we've looked for.
Yeah, but Do we subdue him? I feel like we would have to or should.
Does it look like he went back to sleep?
Yeah, he's covering back up and trying to go back to sleep.
Can we? But he's not like conked out yet.
No, he actually looks slightly annoyed.
We
He's
could
woken up.
we could try going to the other hut.
Yeah, one of the other two that haven't fully woken up or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So at the other hut, there is again another person laying in a cot, presumably asleep. And as you're doing this, you hear wheels crunching the gravel right somewhere about here, right before the bridge, right before the creek, heading towards your direction.
Oh. I think I want to climb on top of the roof of this one. And kind of.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I will also climb up there and hang out.
I'm gonna make you roll stealth for that.
Okay.
Do we have advantage because we're invisible or anything?
Yeah, I thought one of these gave us pass without a trace.
It's plus 10.
You're gonna have plus
Pass
10,
without
but you're
trace is
not
plus
gonna
10.
roll with
Okay.
not gonna roll with advantage because this is more of a sound
Okay, sure.
than a visual.
Okay.
Gotcha. So it's just a plus 10.
All right, so you guys both make your way up very nimbly. Looking out over the bridge, you see an ox toting a cart filled with wheat, and another one of the pale blue-skinned elven men heading your direction.
Do we just wait and see what he does, I guess?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wheels up right in front of you, and unhitches the ox, and totes him into the stable, throws down a latch and locks him where he is. Grabs a handful of the wheat that was in the wagon and actually feeds it to the ox and pets him on his nose, and then leaves the wagon where it is and heads into the building in which you are standing atop. Rustles around a bit. You hear some clinking and some jumbling of metal and wood. And he emerges back out with some tools in hand, and then heads over towards the main house.
Okay. So should we try to sneak into one of these again?
Yep, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So the one that we were looking at before we had to hide here.
Yeah.
So you're gonna try and sneak into the other hut with the sleeping person in it?
Yes.
Yeah, whichever one of the two that where the guy hasn't already kind of woken up.
All right. Are you going in through a door or in through a window?
Is there an open window?
It is not open, but it can be opened.
Did when the guy that just rolled up, when he went into that house, did the door creak at all? Did it make a lot of noise?
It did creak.
Let's try a window. Yeah. Yeah. Is whatever window is not right next to the sleeping elf.
There is a single window
Okay.
that
Well, fair.
is not directly over the bed, but it's on the same wall as the bed.
Okay, but there's room to like just get onto the floor, right? Like it's not right above the bed.
Correct.
Um. Okay. All right. I guess just try to slowly open the window.
All right, stealth it for me.
Well, I guess we have +10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you shimmy the window open fairly adeptly. It makes a satisfying
It's a good window.
and as it reaches the apex of its travel, you notice that it does not stay open. You will have to hold it.
Ooh.
All right, Riley, if you can hold it, I'll slip inside here and check things out.
Yep. I'll hold it open for you.
All right, Gale, if you are slipping in, go ahead and make a stealth check for me. All right, you get in very nimbly, and the room is fairly dark. The only light really spilling in is from the single window in which you just crawled through. There is a small, modest cot with a man sleeping on it, a small footlocker at the foot of that, and a table with 2 chairs on the other end of the room with a couple glasses or mugs and a plate with some scraps of food on it. And at the other end of the room, there appears to be another cot, an empty cot.
I don't
But it
see
looks
any.
like, yeah, it doesn't look like they have many possessions or there is really anything of note. It looks like, in fact, they have almost 0 worldly possessions.
I have an 18-word message that I'd like to send. My limit's 25, and there's a limit of 25 on the way back as well. If it's been 45 minutes, even if he's in the middle of the room, I'm going to go ahead and send it.
Yep, we are right about 45 minutes.
All right. So to Gail, I'm going to send what the fuck is going on? Get back here right now. There is some weird shit headed your way.
All right.
So there's nothing. I mean, is there anything that is like even relatively interesting, or is it just?
I mean, the most interesting thing is that I mean, these people don't look like they have anything. If you had to guess, you would assume that whoever lived in these were slaves.
Gotcha.
So I've got a limit of 25 words. I mean, we can get back pretty quick, but let's see here.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing in here. Like at this point, I would be kind of just giving up, and just being like, well,
Yeah.
okay, there's nothing here. Like literally nothing.
Make a perception check.
All right. Perception. There you are.
Nice.
Gale, you hear footsteps getting very close to the shack in which you are standing in, approaching the door, not with a hurried pace, but with a very determined and pointed pace. You can tell it's coming straight for the door.
Now's a good time to slip back out that window and let it close, I think.
Works for me.
All right, so you slip through the window, making another stealth check.
No.
Oh
no.
No.
Oh,
No.
oh no.
But
Oh no.
It's still a 17, but it's a crit fail.
It's a crit
Oh
fail.
no!
We
Oh,
Thank
just
God you're fast.
A one is a
Oh,
one is a
shit.
one.
Yep, a 1 is a 1 is a 1, even if it's a 17 in this case.
So as your foot slips through, the rest of your body gets through the window. But as your foot makes its way through, the door of the shack opens, and at the same time the person walks into the room, your foot catches on the window as it's falling, and the man takes notice that the window is somehow ajar, and he you hear footsteps walk over, and he he tries to force the window closed. He doesn't see anything keeping it from closing, so he literally just jams the window down on your feet, and you are now effectively dangling from the window as he is trying to force a jammed window shut.
oh man, so that means unintentionally my response to Marcus's message is only like it's like this growling, like frustrated cat sound that sounds a little bit like the word fuck really like loud in his mind.
You guys, Gale and Riley are in trouble. We gotta go.
Oh, good, great. Okay.
Takath, can you mend that wheel?
Yes.
Sunshine, Smatters has got to travel as fast as she can to stay with us, because we got to run to go help Gale and Riley. They're in trouble.
Okay. Okay.
Am I able to like get my foot loose, or am I kind of just stuck right now?
So it's a few seconds that you're stuck as he's just pressing down really hard, and then he lifts up on the window to get some leverage. You tumble out of the window, and then he just slams the window down, and expecting it to give some resistance, he just slams it down onto the base. Now that you've fallen out, and the glass shatters, and you hear, "What in the world?" And the man that was sleeping in the bed has darted up, and Oren, what are you doing? And they start kind of bickering, and the man known as Oren is saying, "The window was stuck. I don't know what was going on. I just came here to wake you up. We've got some friends. We're supposed to go help them fix their wagon. Get some clothes on, and we'll head down to the main road."
Right. So as I'm gathering myself, having fallen out of this window, I'm checking. Am I that connection from Marcus's spell? Am I still able to speak to him, or have I used that up?
I think you've used it up.
Okay. So I whispered to Riley that it's like I wasn't able to get a really meaningful message through to the others, but if these people are headed to the road, maybe we should head back to warn them.
I didn't hear any of that. What'd you say, Gil?
I was I was whispering. I'll say it a little louder this time.
It wasn't you. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's just like I'm just letting you know, like in all the confusion of that terrible leap through the window, I wasn't able to get any sort of meaningful message back to Marcus and the others. So, but since we heard them just say that they're heading toward the road, we should probably see if we can get back first and warn everyone that we're about to have company we may want to hide or something.
Oh, great. Yeah, we should.
So,
All right, the two men in the shack exit their front door and start making their way across the bridge and down this way. They're walking at a fairly leisurely pace. They have some tools in hand, and the other one has a basket in the other that looks as though it has some foodstuffs in it. So they are walking down that way, presumably down towards your friends.
You guys just break the wheel again? Do you see them coming?
So can we cut across the field here? Try and I mean, we're gonna be running too.
Yeah, I mean, you can run across the field.
Yeah.
And get there significantly before.
Okay. I think that's.
Yeah, as you are making your way down here, Marcus and Dekoth and Lyra, Sunshine. Describe to me what you guys are doing.
So
I'm just standing there holding Sunshine's tail, like kind of beating my mace on the ground, going, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
I've got my
mended the
pan
wheel
flute
by this
out.
point.
Yeah, I've got my pain flute out. I'm sort of looking at my hands, like taking deep breaths, preparing myself for battle. Like I've got my longbow strung, but it's like over my back, and I'm getting ready for a fight.
Are
my
you-
vicious sickle out?
Are you guys like on the move?
No,
We're mending
No.
the wheel, right?
we are.
That should be good to go at this point. So now
Yeah,
it's a
the-
matter
I mean,
of do we?
That'll
the
be fun
wheel-
to explain when they get here.
So yeah,
the
we
wheel
are.
is mended.
We're moving the way that once the wheel's mended, we're moving the way that that we thought they were gonna go,
Which was
So
like, towards
you
the
can either
main
head
house.
towards the main house on the main road, or you can cut into this secondary road that way.
I think we should go towards the main house,
Which road?
the main road.
Okay.
oh, okay.
All right, so you guys are on the move this way, while Riley and Gale are on the move this way, while the two
Well, it's day. They should see us easily. It's okay.
Dro men are making their way down a secondary road across the
my
bridge.
god.
Splitting the party is neat.
I hate this stupid game.
Wait, is it day? Isn't it like dusk?
Yeah, it's the middle of the day,
Oh, I thought it was like late.
bright sunlight.
Well, it's
So-
late, but the sun never goes down.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's right.
technically it would be, I mean, it's really about 8 o'clock at night, but the sun is still high in the sky.
Okay.
Um,
This is
so,
This is going great.
all of this is going on. You've got two invisible people running across a wheat field. You've got the horse wagon and four others hurrying down the main road. A pile of dust, or a cloud of dust trailing behind them, and then two kindly slave men walking down towards where they thought a broken down wagon was.
Kindly my ass.
I feel like they're slaves. We shouldn't hate them just because of that.
Well, we don't know they're slaves.
Yeah, you
And I
guys don't necessarily know they're
Absolutely
slaves.
no, nothing.
You don't know that they're bad either. We don't know.
Yeah,
any, like,
I worry in the back of my mind this is going to go to the lowest common denominator, and we're going to end up like murdering a town of good people. And suddenly Mike's like, all of
Set
you
it
are
on
now
fire.
considered evil. You just have to join that army of 500.
On fire. Burn the whole place down.
I mean, in my
Just burn the whole
defense,
place down. Fuck it.
I sent
Fuck it.
Gail an urgent message saying, "Get the fuck back here," and all I
It
heard
would
was,
make
"Rah,
sense
garble,
in the current
garble, fuck!"
situation, Yeah.
Right? I am concerned for the well-being of my friends.
Oh yeah, we gotta haul ass.
And we're
Yes,
right.
I'm concerned about the same thing, because it's like, well, they might that we didn't even tell them about the drow, so they don't have any idea that these people are heading their way.
But they can, like, Gail and Riley can see us, right? They can see that we're moving.
No,
Yeah,
we can't
so-
do them, yeah.
So you guys can't see Gale and Riley, but Gale and Riley can definitely see you guys booking it down the Heroes Road. So presumably they're gonna meet up with you.
Yeah.
So by the time you guys meet, you are probably just about halfway towards the main house, and the elven men are only a few feet down, about here, and slowly making their way down this way. Although they have taken note of the dust cloud that is puffing up from the road.
We're so screwed.
How far? So where are Gail and I?
You guys are all
So
here.
we're all together now
Yeah,
here.
you're all together now.
Oh, okay.
Are they uninvisible?
You can dismiss it as an action, or as a bonus action if you want.
Yeah, I'd say when we're back, because we need to. Well, we can still talk to you even though we're invisible.
You
I
will
mean-
freak me the fuck out.
I'll have to take you.
I mean, I would guess that we would announce ourselves like as we're coming up, not just like when we're suddenly right the fuck next to you.
I mean, that's fair.
Yes.
Fellas, what happened? Gail, are you okay?
I'm a lady.
Sorry. Fellas
A
is a
lady.
general term.
Goddamn right I am.
You're a pretty lady. Pretty demon lady.
So I just relayed the story of how the bruise to my pride is probably worse than the bruise to my paw, but we just kind of, it's like we didn't see anything really that unusual except for these pale people that looked a little bit like elves, and the main concern right now is actually because of that unfortunate lack of stealth. They seem to be awake and they are heading this way, so we may want to hide ourselves if we don't want them to know that we're here.
There's
Or we could just-
hide that.
nowhere to hide, and we've already talked to them at this point.
Was
We could just
everyone
talk to
still in
them?
the town? These blue elves?
Wait, you talked to them?
Yeah, we've already talked to one of them. We told them that our wheel was broken, and now it is fixed.
Break it again.
He said he was going to go get
I
like
swing
tools
at
to
him.
repair it. There it goes, done.
No,
And we're here again.
Wait, we need to add to it. Did she break the same wheel? Because this is a sudden moment. Like,
Damn it.
Make an intelligence roll.
yes,
Lyra.
I was like, this is a good opportunity for some fun story.
God damn it.
Okay, intelligence. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm great with that.
Okay, critical fail. Not only do you break the wrong wheel,
Shit.
but you break it beyond repair.
Oh, fuck.
You actually you crack the hub. So now not only is it the wrong wheel that is broken, but whatever tools they were bringing to help you are probably not adequate to fix
I
this.
just,
I swat her with my tail.
I just.
Oh, yes.
What are you doing?
He said to break the wheel again. Do you think they'll notice?
What?
I was trying to help.
Helping or hurting, Lyra? Helping or hurting?
This is what I love about having both clerics playing.
It's awesome.
The only thing that I've done with this awesome new mace, by the way, is break wheels. Just
You walk away from this. Walk away from this wagon right now.
I kind of walk away, dragging my mace sadly behind me.
We will talk about this later.
Oh. So, who's gonna talk us out of this one?
Well, I look at Marcus, and that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, good luck.
I got this, boys. Don't worry about it.
See, we switched the tires, and we hit
Not to mention you're like a football field's length down the road from where he last saw you.
I can't wait for you to weave this tale. It's going to be
All right.
wonderful.
I am wondering, we've almost lost every element of surprise that we had. We know that they talked to him, but they still don't know necessarily about Riley and me. So maybe the two of us should try and hide very quickly again.
Just
So
stay
that
What
there's
could
invisible.
go wrong?
So that there's not. I mean, we don't have to go far. We can.
I mean, technically, you still have pass without trace up, right? I mean, wouldn't that still be less than, or is that an hour only too?
Yeah, it hasn't been an hour yet.
Oh, there you go. So I mean, if you guys wanted to, like, you
Yeah,
said.
you've got about 12 minutes of pass without a trace.
Because if we're gonna have to be talking and explaining this wagon situation, it probably would not be helpful to suddenly have two more.
Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to try and talk my way out of this. If shit goes south, circle around the back and take him out from behind.
Cool.
Strike to
I like
subdue,
that.
not to kill. Okay? Subdue, not kill.
Fine.
Riley,
Yeah.
subdue, not kill.
Subdue, not kill. So,
God damn it.
So maybe
point comes across.
how big is this tree?
It's a medium-sized tree. It's
Medium-sized tree.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Oh, that's pretty good distance away though.
Yeah.
What about just like
You
on
guys
the
can
other
hide behind the
side
rock?
of the wall?
Yeah, the rock wall. Would be orchard side or something.
Yeah, just like, can we make it over here?
Yeah.
Somewhere? Right here? Yeah.
That's a double move, one action for Riley. Or for Gale. Right? You have 45 feet?
My speed's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
and that's without feline agility. I'm fast.
Oh shit.
Wow.
He's a monk.
Oh,
He's fast AF.
Yeah. Fast AF. How'd you get 60 feet base walking?
Riley, jump on the back of Gale, and then Gale will go.
Tally ho!
So yeah, I feel like that's what
Dude.
we're gonna do. We're gonna try and hide behind this wall here.
Yeah.
That's not
I
double
feel like-
move. That's not
No,
dash.
That's my
Nope.
regular move.
He's a monk.
Fuck me. That's awesome. All right, so the green flag is us.
Yep.
Oh, so you're still middle of the road, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you can go like 100 feet. You guys will be able to get there in time.
Yeah, but if you hide on that side of the wall, they're gonna see you. I mean, they're coming from over here.
What if we go to the
Oh.
Go
this
orchard side.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would,
That's a big ass drowman.
Fucking terrifying.
I mean, he's like 100 feet tall. What the fuck?
yeah. What if?
Kush.
that's a good point. That's a good point. We should probably hide behind this wall
What
over
is
here.
this fucking Attack on Titans?
Yeah, it's Titanfall. Kaboom! Drow Titan.
All right, so this side of the wall.
Yep.
Go, go.
Hiding there.
go.
All right, y'all go hide. I'm gonna step out.
Real quick.
So
Real quick.
Real
Are
quick.
these guys like
Intelligent,
or like
how's
their
their
wisdom
wisdom?
Listen,
per se?
you can't just ask that.
I
I
can
can base it off of looks
and how they talk.
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Just
from
wait
your
it over.
interaction with them, with the one earlier, he was perfectly intelligent. You know, seemed really nice and like he could talk with people.
Just because they're drow doesn't make them dumb. That's racist. Literally.
So the one that was talking to you earlier stops right between the trees where the side road meets the main road, and he stops and rubs his head for a moment, looking down where you were, and then looks down where you are, and then looks back down where you were.
I'm gonna raise my hand and kind of wave at him and
you
signal
see
him for flag him towards us.
You see him whisper something to his companion, and he waves at you, kind of meagerly, with a bit of confusion, but starts walking your way.
Just tell them we got a shitty wagon.
Around us.
Yeah, you're not even here, bruh.
And
Do you even charisma?
I'm aware.
he walks up and greets you. He says, "I must have had a long day because I could have swore you had a broken wagon down that way."
We did have a broken wagon down that way. You're okay. You're not imagining things.
And he looks at the wagon, and he looks at the tools in his hand, and he says, "I came expecting to fix a broken spoke, not a shattered hub."
Well, it's been sort of a traumatic few minutes, and I walk him around the front, and I show him Smatters, and I'm gonna look at Sunshine, and I'm gonna put my hand palm down and sort of go towards Smatters with my hand towards her nose, and obviously she's docile and whatever, but I'm gonna say
Very,
that
very slightly.
what.
Slyly.
Not it matters very slyly.
And I'm gonna say our horse got spooked I'm not sure exactly what happened. There are only a very few things that could have spooked her that bad, but she ran as though she were petrified, and this has never happened before. She's not easily scared, but there must have been something that came out of nowhere and startled her. It was all we could do to get her calmed down. I even had to play her a little song on my flute, and I bring out my flute, and I'm gonna start a performance um, to show them how I had to calm her down. So, performance. And she normally is very easily, directed. The only thing that could scare her is spiders. Do you have, knowing that this didn't happen at all, but do you have you had any problems with overly large spiders around here?
I can't say that I have, and may I say you're quite the talented musician. I've not heard tunes quite so beautiful in a very long while. Manfred does do a bit on the lute, but it's nothing compared to that glorious pan flute. But uh, I you must forgive me. I did your horse scare the wheel off of the one side and onto the other? Because I swear it was on the
Yes.
other side of the wagon that was busted. And maybe it was just a long day in the fields. But spiders. No spiders around here.
Okay, I'm gonna use a cue. I have a place cue. Um, my place cue that I wrote down is about home. Our home always had a warm fire and a meal for anyone that came to dinner. Our mother, while she was alive, made our house a home. And the reason I picked this one is because I'm going to try to convince them to forget about the wagon and let us bring Smatters and leave the wagon behind, um, and take her to the stables and bring us in for a meeting with the lady, right? Because obviously this wagon isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, great. Go ahead and make a persuasion
Persuasion. Yep.
with advantage.
Persuasion with advantage. That's what I was going for. So basically, what I'm going to tell them is just that, that don't worry about the wheel. Our horse is so scared. I would really appreciate it if we could make use of your stables to give her a brush down and maybe rest her for the night while we camp. Again, we'd really like to meet with your lady and share a meal and spread some news. So let me click on persuasion. 17.
He sighs and he looks over his shoulder at his companion, and they both nod at each other, and they pause for a second, and the one that's been speaking with you says, "You're right. Your horse looks mighty traumatized, and we have an empty stable that'd be perfect for her. Just unhitch her and follow us. Grab
And
what you need, and I'm sure Lady Arietta will be more than happy to make this night as comfortable as it can be for you."
I'm going to go over to Sunshine, and as best I can, knowing that they have probably some sort of enhanced hearing, and say to her as softly as I possibly can, keeps matters cool. We're going to have to stick together, but she's probably going to have to stay in the stables alone.
Okay.
She'll be safe, I promise.
If he's not safe, it's your head.
What's that?
I said if he's not safe,
It's your head.
She's
Okay.
gonna kill you, is what she's saying. Oh God.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Well,
Trusting you.
I apologize. I have not introduced myself. I am Oren. This is my brother Darren.
Darren, Oren, well met. I'm Marcus. And these are my friends. I'm not
pleasure
going
to
to introduce them on purpose. Like, I'm not going to give their names.
It's a pleasure to meet you all, and I will humbly and gladly welcome you to the Badu family farms. Follow us, and we will get you situated. So you guys make your way up the main road towards this side road here.
While we're walking, I'm going to kind of put my hand on Dakot's shoulder and say, whatever senses you have, whatever druidry you can muster, this doesn't feel right.
I'll be keeping all of my senses open while we're here, that's for sure.
While we're walking, I walk next to Sunshine, but I don't hold her tail because I think she's mad at me.
I put my tail in your hand.
Oh,
I probably owe Marcus a giant thank you.
Yes, you do.
You can buy me a fish when we get to town. I fucking hate fish.
So, as you approach the village, you see some children pouring out of the main building. A few of the adults are meandering about in what would be described maybe as the town square, although it's not a town and it's not square. It's really just the main outdoor gathering place. There's a large well, a few benches, and they are gathering wood, putting it into a fire pit, and starting a fire. You're all approaching, and the adults take notice. The children seem to not really care. They are heading back down towards the pond, and they're grabbing their wooden weapons and starting to clank against each other. Oren says, please come into the gathering place, and I will bring Lady Badu out to meet you, and my brother Darren will take your fine steed and stable him for the evening.
It would probably be best if my friend Sunshine stayed with her until she is safely stabled.
I totally understand. Please, whoever wishes to join on the way to the stable may, and the rest of you, please wait for the lady of the family, and we'll get
Someone
this.
should go with Sunshine.
I'm going to look at Gale. You should probably go with Sunshine.
Gail's not with us.
right?
No, Gale and Riley are not with you.
Yeah.
Gale and Riley are not with us. Okay.
Right, they're still hiding.
Fuck.
I'll go along then.
No.
Might give me a chance to see if there's anything going on over at the stable.
Sounds good.
Pick up anything.
That way both of you have a cleric with you.
Yeah.
All right, so Gale and Riley, what are you doing now that you see them? The situation has been diffused, and they are heading towards the village.
Do we want to like let them get ahead of ways and then come into the village and be like, "Oh, we were way behind the rest of our group because we got lost, and now we found them! Yay!" Or not?
I'm cool with actually kind of staying hidden, but I don't want to stay where I am. It's like I want to kind of follow along behind.
Yeah.
I don't want them to get too far away from me. I want to be able to get to them real quick if I need to. But so I guess as they're going in this way, as I can find places to hide. I guess the biggest danger is being found by the kids or something. But I think I still want to try and maintain what little element of surprise I can.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. So how far behind are you sticking? They're
Pretty much.
I mean, they've made their way into here, so they're right in the middle of the three main houses.
How about
Want to be like by this tree or closer?
yeah?
Or,
I was gonna say the tree or the hills, maybe.
like over here, or these hills,
Or those hills.
or those hills.
Or these hills.
What's the situation back here? Did we see this earlier when we were scouting out?
That is the beginning of some foothills. There's a little bit of like a small vegetable garden over here, but it's mostly just hills.
Let's say, would we be able to find a spot in the hills there?
If you're gonna go there, it would have to be pretty far back, because there's a lot of movement in that area. People gathering wood from piles and moving about. So
maybe just this point here would be better.
Okay. All right. So Darren leads Smatters and company over to the stables.
It's definitely Smatters and Company, and not Sunshine and Decoth. It's
Smatters is the front man of this band, or
It's true.
100%.
Smatters and the Wheel Smashers.
On the way
New
there,
It
band
should
name.
actually just be the name of our party, Smatters and Company.
Agreed.
Darren is quiet. He doesn't say much. And while Oren seemed very friendly and open to talking, Darren is quite the opposite. Very quiet, very reserved. Doesn't really make eye contact and just leads Smatters towards the barn and more or less ignores Sunshine and Decoth. Oren has headed inside to the main house, leaving Marcus and Lyra The adults that are moving around in the main gathering area have taken note of you, but have not really approached or anything. They are busy at work, um, and the fact that there are visitors doesn't seem too new to them.
I'm going to make sure that my weapons are away and that my flute is out and that I appear as non-threatening as possible.
Tell Lyra to put her mace away.
I'm just gonna not touch that for a while and literally just stare, like constantly glance at Marcus. Like, am I doing the right thing? Have I fucked up yet?
So I'm going to notice that Lyra is obviously nervous. I'm gonna just kind of reach out to her, pat her on the hand. Hey, don't worry, I got this. And I'm going to give her a bardic inspiration.
With that, I'm gonna relax a little bit. I can do this. It's fine.
We got this.
All right, so one of the men, he's a big brawny dude with a big bushy beard, bright red hair. Walks up to you both, and he puts a hand on Marcus's shoulder, and then a hand on Lyra's shoulder. You feel a strength there, and he says, "Hello, welcome, welcome. What brings you to our great farm?"
We're travelers from Duncaster. Well met, sir. My name is Marcus. We're on our way to Windermere.
Windermere, the great city. Yes, yes. Are you from Duncaster?
Originally, yes, but I've spent a lot of time away.
Oh, well, welcome to our farm. If you'll excuse me, I must get back to building our bonfire. We're going to have a party, or we just had our farm blessed by a wonderful man, high priest of the House Palor, and we are going to celebrate our wonderful bounty. He reaches down to his side and grabs a canteen and hands it over to Lyra. You look like you could take a load off. Here, have some of this.
I'm gonna ask him, sir, did the High Priest of Palor give you his name? I'd love to play a song for you on my flute at the bonfire this evening.
He's the great man. He's a great family friend of ours. Dilray Partheny.
Yeah, okay.
He is the head priest of the Egrindon Church, and he makes a yearly pilgrimage, and always stops at our farm and gives a blessing. And well, it's just that day. It's a wonderful day for us.
Father Partheny.
Do I have any idea who that is? Can I do a religion check or something? This is weird.
Yeah, sure, you can do a religion check.
Okay, good. Roll better. Roll better. Got it. Oh, not much better, but okay.
You have heard of
Not a one.
Of Father Partheny. He's pretty well known as the head priest of the Egrindon Temple. It is one of the larger temples in Auchendale. seconded only really to Windermere. And he has a decent reputation, and he is a very pious man.
Okay. As I'm racking my brain for that information, I'm sort of like sniffing whatever drink he just gave me and then cautiously sipping it.
You are tasting what is very clearly Forlothan Fey wine.
Wow.
And the second it touches your really, even the second you smell it, you recognize it as that, and it is very fine for Forlothan Fey wine, to be exact.
Fancy as fuck. Got it. Well, I'm just gonna keep drinking it then. He gave it to me. I've already failed miserably, so.
I'm so worried.
Gail may have something to say about that.
I know, it's too bad I'm not with you to warn you about the effects of this wine.
That shit will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
Here's where the one needs to happen, and you're just oh, damn.
I'm not a lightweight.
It tastes wonderful, and you are feeling wonderful.
I grew up in a brothel, bitches.
There's like a buzz about your body, and you're feeling almost high. Not really drunk. You're like high, almost on stimulants.
Nice. I could do anything. I break a wagon wheel.
Baby, what is you doing?
So back to Smatters & Co. Darren unlatches the one remaining stable at the barn, and ushers Smatters in, gives him a little pat on the snoot, and turns to Sunshine and the Koth and says, "Your horse will be well taken care of. You may join your friends, or you may stay here at the barn, but the food will be much better over there."
Please don't touch my horse.
Is oh, sorry, never mind.
Sunshine, you're so approachable for a cleric.
When it comes to the matters of Smatters, wow. When it comes to that, it's she seems to go full blown like fucking
The
intense.
only thing she said this whole time out loud is, "Please don't touch my horse."
I'll
Darren-
kind of throw my hand out, kind of, like, I apologize. She's very close to this horse, so we would like to be sure the utmost care is taken. So, and I look back towards Sunshine, assuming this will be the case. So we're gonna stay with Smatters, seeing how she reacts to that.
I lean in, very close to you, and I say, Marcus didn't really want us to separate. So we should.
That's true. So we're gonna stay with Smatters a moment longer, but that's the house you said to go to.
Yep. So Darren looks over you two as you're kind of whispering at each other, and he leans in and he says, "I can tell you have a bond with this horse. I can relate." He motions over to one of the horses in the stable. It's a pure black, super lean stallion, and he says, that is my dear friend Glamours." And
Glamours and Smatters.
Wait, Does Sunshine hate all other horses except for Smatters, or is that just
Absolutely.
Chelsea?
No, I mean Sunshine originally hated all horses too. But she's still it's still only Smatters.
So it just keeps getting better for her. Good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Say Chelsea definitely hates all other horses.
Darren says, I would be heartbroken if anything happened to my glamours. So, do what you must, but I promise you with my my honor, I will protect your steed as though he were mine.
I'm trusting you on this. If not gonna threaten him. Not gonna threaten him. Nope, not gonna do it. I'll just do it.
He actually walks up to you, Sunshine, and he leans in very close up to your ear, and he says, if you go towards the house, be wary. And he backs away really quickly and back into the stable.
Excuse me?
Seems maybe that mutual horse love caused him to maybe give us a little heads up.
I don't know where my pen is.
Or at least you.
So he's gone, right? Did he just kind of like back away into like the shadows of the stables?
Yeah, I mean, he backed away, and he makes it pretty clear with his body language he doesn't really want to talk anymore. You can push the issue, if you would care to.
I cast Zone of Truth.
Or you could do that.
I cast
cool.
Zone of Truth.
Ain't fucking around.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Welcome to the no spin zone, motherfuckers.
So he has to make a charisma saving throw.
Okie dokie.
Fuck.
And 18.
That's not good. All right.
I mean, he's not necessarily resisting anything, so is there something you wanted to ask him?
What do you mean? Be wary. I walk up close to him, within like a reasonable distance, but only so him and I can hear it. Dukoff can't hear anything.
The pale skins. He looks around kind of scared and timidly. They don't know that they don't know. Do you understand? They don't know.
They don't know what's going on, like with the world.
They are oblivious.
So watch what we say.
Just watch it.
Okay.
He takes a deep breath and he says, "We have been slaves to this family for as long as I can remember. And they have been a good family. Too good. They are eerily good. I can't explain it, but I do know that whatever blesses this land is not as pure as it seems. And they don't understand. They don't know.
Thank you. And I give him a feather. Thank you.
He takes the feather and he holds it up to his head and he bows and kind of brushes it against the bridge of his nose. I will take care of your steed.
I bow to him. Thank you.
So he heads over towards the large black stallion Glamours and starts to stroke his nose. Grabs an apple and starts feeding it to him, and tries to act as though nothing happened at all.
I go back to Dakoth and I'm like, we gotta go. I give Smatters a little smooch and then I'm like, we gotta go.
And one moment you were ready to kill that guy, and
he said to be wary. These people don't know. They don't know what. Give me a second. They don't know what is going on in the world, basically. They just don't know. They don't get it. So we gotta go and we have to make sure everyone's on their game.
I'll trust your lead. You sound like you certainly know more about this situation than the rest of us do at this moment.
We gotta go.
Let's go meet up.
And we do that.
Cool. We'll head towards the house then, it sounds like. Go meet up with everybody else.
Yep, but act cool. Be cool.
Everybody be cool.
I
This
walk
is
with a
rubber
certain
room.
amount of swagger. Like, just,
Too cool. Wrong.
totally unnatural. Too cool. That charisma being 0 really hurts me.
Do the Pat McAfee millionaire walk.
I find a cane and I'm twirling it. It's like, what the fuck?
Where did this cane
Where'd that
come
cuff
from?
have to cuff? Jeez.
So back at the main gathering place, Marcus and Lyra are waiting around, and you guys notice the door of the main house open up, and the outline of an elderly woman kind of shuffles out. Her silhouette fades into an actual image of a very roughly wrinkled woman. It's clear that this woman has seen many years under the sun of Auchendale. Her chocolate-colored skin is clean but rough as she
chocolate.
makes her way towards you. And she holds up her hands in a welcoming motion, and she says, "I see we have visitors. Welcome, welcome.
I'm glad to be received so openly.
Oren
We did
told
not-
me there were more of you. What? There's only 2 of you.
Two of my friends went with our horse. She was very scared. They went with her and Darren to the stables to get her settled down for hopefully not too long. But one of the wheels on our wagon has been completely broken and will need to be replaced.
Oh,
So
whatever
Oren,
could have scared your horse so terribly?
I do declare, um, I'm not sure what she saw, but the only other time she's reacted like that, it was a um, very large spider.
Well, I don't know anything about spiders, but I do know that our men, our workers, can get your wagon working just as good as it was before, but not before you have a nice warm meal. It's not often we get travelers like you. Um,
Thank you very much for your hospitality. We spoke with one of your men. He seemed very, very strong, and he was kind enough to share his wine with my companion. And I tap Lyra on the back very lightly. Um, the other two should be back presently. Can we go inside? We have news from Duncaster.
Oh, sure, sure. You must have been talking to Borko. He is my behemoth of a man that chops wood and moves things about the farm. He's a wonderful boy, wonderful boy. He's been with us for quite a
Does
while.
all those manly things.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, he's wonderful. But yeah. Let's wait for your friends and we'll head on in. We've got some leftover boar that you are more than welcome to enjoy.
Excellent, excellent. Um, he said something when we were talking about the farm being blessed and that there was going to be a bonfire and a gathering this evening.
Why, yes, why, yes. Um, Father Parthney came through with his annual pilgrimage, um, and they blessed our farm as they always do.
It seems to be very blessed. This your wheat and your apples are at the height of of excellence. I'm not sure exactly what that was supposed to mean. Sorry, but they seem to be flourishing, unlike some of the other places that we've passed through. Have you traveled beyond the boundaries of your farm in the past few weeks?
Oh, I'm an old woman. I don't travel much past the steps of that big house there, and
Have any of
except
your
in
have any of your men um, gone beyond the beyond side of the house?
only towards Hull Cove. We
Okay.
send we every couple weeks we send someone on towards Hull Cove and uh, get our fish and other trade goods. We don't head towards the central part of the country too much.
I'm gonna approach her closely and lower my voice and ask her, did they mention anything about a blight along the road?
Oh, they didn't. They just mentioned it was a very hot summer and a lot of the other crops were not necessarily as fruitful as ours.
So on the road from Duncaster, um, all along the side of the road, and not much outside of it, but definitely along the road, there's a blight that has come and is killing the plants and the growths along the hero's road, and it's black, and we don't know what it is, but it's all along the road between here and Doncaster.
Well, that's quite terrible indeed. I count myself uh, one under Palor's light that my farm has not been stricken by that. I've heard of some blights being striking the countries many years ago, but Haven't heard of it recently, so that's very worrying.
What kind of blights came before? I've been out
Oh,
on
just
a.
stories. Stories from years and years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, before my time, but um, bards, they like to come sing about the time of the dragons, whatever that was. I wasn't alive back then, and no one was here either, so I just know them as stories. It was a bad time when crops didn't grow, and well, count ourselves lucky it's not like that right now, right?
I I hear you. And then I'm gonna look over and see Sunshine and Dekoth. Ah, here are my friends. Come, let's go inside.
Very well, come, come.
So
I'm gonna offer them both wine as we walk inside.
I'm gonna decline gently, but I'll decline.
I like reach the glass way up to the cough, like I just put it over my head.
Nice. What the hell? I'll take a little sip. Little-
Just a sip.
just a sip.
All right, we'll let it slide.
I figured just to be nice to my friend here, but yeah, I know what this shit can do too.
I
was there
assume if
that night.
I offer it to Sunshine that she just whacks me with her tail, so.
It could happen.
All right, so she totes you guys inside, leads you guys in there, over to Riley and Gale.
Oh boy. So did we see them go into that other that house?
Yes.
Is there anyone else out and about, or?
Yeah, there's the same few people. They've got the fire started.
Okay. Oh, right.
Flames are starting to dance, and they've moved on, kind of arranging logs and benches around the fire pit, and generally just getting the gathering place all set up for a party.
Party. I don't know, Gail. What do you want to do? You want to just keep hanging out?
Well, so we could either try and stay hidden. If in that case, I'd probably want to move closer again, or we could try, faking it and be like, "Oh, we just arrived here.
Yeah.
What's going on?" Or we could split it. You could do that, and then I could try hiding up on the roof of one of these houses again.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like hiding out isn't really doing much for us. So I kind of think meeting up with the others would be a good idea.
All right. Well, it is in my nature. They've been out of sight. We've been far away from them for quite a while, and I am concerned about if they're doing okay or not. So I'm probably ready to take that risk and.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we should backtrack and then walk in, or if we should just like suddenly appear. I'm not sure how to. As a monk, sweet talking the people about why I suddenly showed up is probably not my strongest suit.
Yeah. Same. I'm gonna say same. But I mean, I mean, like, where are they in the like mess hall building? The big one?
Yeah, they've made their way into the main building.
And where's this party at?
It's in the courtyard basically, so it's
So
in
just like
between
right
the three.
in the
Yeah,
middle
in
there.
between the three buildings.
Okay. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to like sneak into the building. We'd have to probably like backtrack, you know, all the way around and around and around. I
What's
feel
all
like
those
we
kids
should,
out there?
yeah.
Maybe maybe we should just bluff it. I can lead us in, and I'll just say loudly, "Hey, I think that smell of the boar was coming from this direction."
Sure.
We'll just tell them that we're travelers, and I'm following my nose.
I mean, I was thinking we should go with hey, we were catching up with our friends and
Okay.
the rest of our company. And we know they were traveling down this road, and
That's more straightforward. Let's do that.
yeah, I mean, it's not lying.
It's
Technically.
tabaxi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I guess like probably backtrack a little bit, just like back onto the road, and then kind of just sort of stroll into town a little bit.
Yeah, so you stroll in, and
Yeah.
the red bearded man throws down a log and gives you a hearty wave and says, "Welcome, what brings you here?"
Hello. Yeah, we were a little bit behind a group of friends of ours, and we it seems like they probably came this way into your lovely little village.
Oh,
We
the
were
tree
wondering if
man, the cat, and the elves. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Could you point us in their direction so we can meet up with them again?
Yeah, follow me. They're in the main building. My name's Borko. What's your name?
Hi, Borko. My name is Riley.
Riley, pleased to meet you. Come on in. And he leads you to the main building, knocks on the door a little bit. The rest of the party's just kind of getting settled in there with Miss Arietta, and Borko says, "You got some stragglers coming in here." And Arietta turns and says, "Come on in."
Are both of them there? Or is it just Riley?
We're both there.
Cool. Come on in, guys. This is Lady Arietta Bardu.
Yeah, welcome you all to the Badu family farm. Now you handsome one, you there. You told me that you had something to tell me about Duncaster?
Yes, ma'am. You said that you had a priest come through here, Father Parthney,
Parthney, yeah.
and
Old family friend of mine. Yeah.
he's a priest of the House of Palor.
He is indeed based out of
Borko
Egrindon.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's from Egrindon. Okay. Well, did he mention anything about the Order of Palor in Duncaster while he was here?
He didn't. No, he did not.
Well, Duncaster is gone.
Excuse me?
Sorry, are Sunshine and Dekoth with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Duncaster gone? That
It burned.
that's awful. What happened?
We don't know. We were out on a quest, and we returned to find the city in flames, and one of the priests of the House of Palor had accused us of burning down the city, but he proved himself to be no true priest. He turned into a demon and attacked us in the town square.
So just to clarify there, he was not a priest of Palor. He was the head of the town guard,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Warder Haley.
Yeah, he was the yeah. So, but he was saying no. Okay, yeah. So one of the town guards was saying awful things about the House of Palor, but he proved to be not a man of faith, and turned himself into a demon.
A demon?
Yes, we were barely able to escape with our lives.
Oh my! I'm so glad you made it out of there. What of Brumblemaw?
Marcus knows, but I don't remember. I believe he was
killed.
He was killed.
Yeah. Brumblemar as well. I'm gonna just put my head down and look at the floor of the house. Brumblemar didn't make it.
Sunshine also puts her head down.
Who did this? I do not understand.
That's why we're on the road. We're traveling to Windermere to find out what we can and meet up with a few people to try and find out what happened.
Well, Father Parthney didn't say anything about that.
Would Father Parthney have known? Has he been to Duncaster recently?
I would have imagined he went through Duncaster.
He might have gone around it.
But he could have. All roads lead through Duncaster and Auchendale. I'd be surprised if he.
I feel like that's something that he would have told you. You know?
When did this happen?
Just days ago.
I wonder if it's a matter of timing. I mean, Father Parthney was just through here just last night.
He came from Duncaster?
He came from the east, so I assume he came from Duncaster.
Yeah, perhaps it was just the timing.
It was definitely probably that.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
My window just completely closed.
She kind of strokes her chin a little bit. Little white hairs kind of dancing from her chin. You know, he came through with an army. He said that they were on a training exercise. They were very conscious of our children. They did not stay long, but as he always does, Father Parthney blessed our wonderful land. And,
Father Parthney was traveling with the army?
Yeah. He told us that it was a training exercise for the Egerndon army. They do it on an annual basis. They march from Egerndon to Hull Cove every year.
And you see this every year, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, that's okay for sure.
Did he mention Duke Nerwende?
You mean the elf lord down there in Egerndon?
Yes.
He didn't mention him by name, no. He did say that he was on the Lord's. The training exercise was given on the Lord's behest.
Okay. What do you remember anything specific about what the army was wearing? Did they seem did they seem like they were generally good men?
I can barely hear you, Rick.
Yeah, we
Did
can't
they
hear
seem
you.
like they were generally
God.
good men?
Of course they were. They were very conscious of our children. They did not want to scare them, so they stayed quite far away from the farm. And Father Parthney came through. Um, he said he was not really uh, with the army, but he was told to go along with the army to bless their journey, as it can be quite trying.
Right.
Who does the good father, normally take his orders from? Do they come from the house of Palor, or do they come from the Lord of Nerland?
Well, he answers to Palor, but the great temples, they go where the money is, usually. That's my understanding. If someone pays them, they are happy to bring their word and their blessings along.
How noble.
I think they call it a tithe or a tithe or I don't know what they. I'm not a religious person. I do thank Palor for the blessings he's given our land, but I can't say I prescribe to his religion.
Mm.
You're not a follower of Palor.
Oh no, um, I've always been a follower of the land. I love my land and I believe in my land. Uh, but Palor has obviously been good to us with those blessings.
Do the blessings always come from the house of Palor? Do they always come from the same father?
Every year, Parthney comes through, blesses our land in the name of Palor.
Does he always come with the army?
Not always. He's come through with an army every so often. It just depends on the time of year. Sometimes he comes a month later, sometimes he comes a month earlier. But every so often it coincides with the marching of the army.
And he didn't mention seeing any of this blight on the way.
He didn't, but that doesn't mean he didn't.
Hmm. Are we all just standing around, like outside by the fire?
You're all in the main
We're inside.
building.
Oh, we're inside. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I heard you say you had some boar. Would you mind if we refreshed ourselves? Could we
Please.
eat?
Where are my manners? I'm sorry. I was just a bit taken back by the word of Duncaster. Please. The table's still set, so she motions towards the table. Please make yourselves at home. Anything in here is is what is mine is yours.
Marcus, being a sailor who's had to live on hard tack and grog in the past, is never one to turn down a fresh meal. So he's gonna eat a lot.
Did I already tell them what happened in the stables?
No.
You never got a chance. When we joined, they were already talking to this older woman. So, depending on what kind of a situation we get right now, you might be able to get that information out.
I'm gonna sit next to Marcus.
I'm
Very,
gonna
very
sit over
uncomfortably
there, too.
close to Marcus.
As you guys are eating, you hear from the upper floor, you hear a banging.
Like somebody walking like an elephant, or like a door getting knocked on.
No, like someone taking maybe a cane and banging it on the floor.
Oh, jeez.
And Arietta looks up and kind of gives a little, "Oh, and she makes her way over to the stairs and turns and says, "If you don't mind, I must head up very quickly and check with my dear husband Manfred. He's been feeling ill, and he must need me if he is banging on the floor. Please make yourselves at home. I will be right back down."
The first thing I say to everyone is no more questions about any of this, and no more giving out information.
What's going on?
I got told to be wary, and that this family doesn't know the full story of things that are going on. They don't understand. They don't know.
And you think they shouldn't know?
When I get told to be wary, I
Are wary. I understand.
I haven't given them anything so far that they won't find out in the next few days anyway. So we're not out anything.
no more questions about the father. I feel like we're not getting anywhere with it, and I don't think we will.
Okay.
Something is not right here. Something is really, really wrong.
So down from the stairs walks Arietta Badu, followed by a very, very skinny old man, hunched over on a walking cane, very slowly walking down the stairs. He's basically in a robe and nothing else. He looks up and he says, "Welcome. My dear wife Arietta tells me that I've got visitors here. What brings you here? You must excuse me. I'm very, very tired, but I had to come down and say hello."
Hello, good sir. We are travelers on the way to Windermere.
Oh, my Windermere, yes. My wife tells me that Duncaster has been burnt to the ground.
Unfortunately, sir, yes. Duncaster was my home, but it is no more.
That's terrible news, and I feel terrible celebrating on a night like this where I learn such grave information. But I've promised my family a celebration. I hope you don't take offense to some festivities.
No, sir. We've had a few days on the road to come to grips with what has happened.
Very well. If you don't mind, I must make preparations. I again, as I said, am very tired, and I have my obligations for the celebration, and I would like to get them out of the way as soon as possible so I can get back to resting.
Can I insight check this guy?
Sure.
Like any of them, really?
Yeah, sure.
Insight. I'm gonna do it, I swear. There we go.
So, you don't necessarily feel like they're lying about anything. They're not being deceitful. But what they're saying, I mean, as you guys have obviously figured out, it's just not sitting right with you. There's something weird about what they're saying.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Okay.
So the old man slowly makes his way towards the door and heads outside to the courtyard, while Arietta stays inside with you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how delicious is this boar?
Pretty fucking delicious.
Succulent.
Amazing. It's probably one of the best things you've eaten in a very long time.
I'm going to have a little bit more.
And she's still sitting with us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of tapping on the table with a worried look on her face. Worried mostly that the news from Duncaster came through, that, you know, she would have heard something about it.
I'm just gonna pick at my food and sit quietly because I have no idea what to say now that we're not allowed to ask questions.
How do you like to celebrate? What's this going to be happening tonight? The celebration.
Oh, there will be singing and dancing and a special
And perhaps
prayer
some
from...
music?
A special prayer from Manfred.
Would it be presuming too much to ask to play a song?
Oh, it would be very much welcome.
Excellent.
Very much welcome.
You have a lovely song.
So from outside, you see everyone starting to gather. Manfred is actually standing up on kind of a soapbox, and everyone is gathering around him. He's in front of the bonfire, while everyone else is kind of on the other side, and Arietta looks up and says, "Oh, I think he is ready. Oh, would you like to join us for our community prayer?"
That would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
Have you gotten enough food?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. It was delicious.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So, you head outside, and from the porch, you see Manfred standing on his little soapbox. The flames from the bonfire are lighting him up, and the shadow cast behind him is not that of an old man. And the shadows cast from the others don't appear to be human either.
We are so fucked.
And
Can we tell what it is?
Maybe they're hoping we don't notice, and we're all cool, and we just have a party, and it's nice.
Yeah, let's go with that.
They look like demonic shadows.
Yeah, we should go.
And that, I think, is where we're going to stop for tonight.
Oh, fuck me. Are you serious?
I figured. I was looking at the time. I'm like, he's gonna put us on a cliffhanger.
God damn it.
Riley, we should have stayed out by the gate.
Oh man.
Yeah, we should.
Next
We're
time.
like sacrifices. We are sacrifices right now.
Next time.
We just literally came onto like a cannibal farmstead or something like that.
As soon as we start next time, it's going to be initiative.
This is some children of the corn.
Or he's building this up 2 weeks from now. As soon as we start, they're just gonna be like, "Oh no, we're still just nice people." It's like, wait, what? Yeah, we're good demons. We're cool. We're chill.
We spent all night just being really paranoid.
Yeah.
Talk about a slow burn.
Or
What
the
fuck,
food made us
man?
like see them that way, but actually they're fine. It's just something in the food.
Fuck.
Or initiative will be rolled. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Oh, God damn. Oh,
So
Mike, I gotta
good.
ask, were you kind of pacing to end that way tonight, or did that just happen to work out? Like 50-50, 70-30 kind of plan there?
Oh, 0%.
Oh, man, that was...
Just happened that way.
That's even more
0%.
epic that it ended up that way.
Oh,
Fuck!
Okay.
Yeah, you were supposed to be through the farm like 2 hours ago.
Oh,
I had this sneaking suspicion as we kept double taking everything and acting super suspicious. I was like, maybe this is just a fucking farm and it's just weird. Yeah, because they have a blessing, but we could just roll on after staying the night. Like, yeah, we stay the night.
we were going to get attacked in the night, weren't we?
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
The DM fifth, right?
The DM fifth. Well-known fifth.
Uh,
Oh, Jesus.
dude,
Very nice.
dude, that was so good.
That was great.
But, for a play session where we were just sneaking around the farm mostly all night, this was so funny. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good moments. Like, it balanced out well with going back and forth, too, which is,
Your foot,
on mic there every time you noticed, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go back to the other crew now.
Chris. What the fuck,
that
man?
I like that you didn't mention it in the story. You said due to a failure in stealth or something like that. You didn't go, I got my leg stuck in a window. Like, you didn't tell us that. So none of us know it. I mean, does Riley even
Riley
know? Did
knows.
Riley actually see it? Okay. So Riley has this secret she's holding for you that will, just taken to the grave, hopefully. Great.
Oh man.
it's just like the unwritten thing where like something super embarrassing happens, and you're the only other one who saw it. You just don't know anyone. I got you.
Well, now you guys owe it, Yeah, so yeah, you do something embarrassing, and he's got to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think I've got my gratitude for the night right there.
Nice.
Thanks for having my back, Riley.
Yeah.
Not embarrassing me in front of our friends.
anytime.
That is tremendous.
I will say my gratitude then. I knew it had to go to some of the, and granted, this is more luck than anything. I knew it had to go to any of the ones that were rolled tonight, and since Gail just got some credit for that one, my other one that I was thinking of already was going to be to Maggie, and that was the immediate reaction to go, oh shit, I got to break the wheel, and then your dice roll. That was awesome.
Yes.
Like, that was a great reaction to what was happening, and then the dice roll was just even a more epic reaction. So not only were you literally rolling with the punches there, or swings of the mace, but it became even better. So gratitude to you for making that an amazing experience that Marcus had to talk us out of.
That was a premium experience.
Yes, absolutely one that I will remember. Like that's what
I feel
love
like-
about sessions like this.
I'm not sure if Lyra has a last name, but it needs to be Wheelsbane.
Wheels Bane, Axel Bane,
Oh.
something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That topped the time you set the tower on fire. That was great.
I'm going to give my gratitude to
Marcus, for talking us out of so much fucking shit tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Thank God we got a bard with charisma.
I'm a
Lyra
hostage
owes him
negotiator.
so much.
I'm good. I'm a hostage negotiator. It's what I do.
I feel like at some point there's going to be an awkward conversation between Lyra and Marcus of her just like asking him how to talk to people.
It's like how to talk to girls at parties.
Yes.
You just gotta be yourself, Lyra. I mean, just say hello and see what happens.
Stop swinging your mace at people.
That's not a good conversation starter. Shattering their tibia. Like
You keep
Oh my god.
your mace strapped to your back, and you try not to be so threatening, and you say thank you.
Oh wow, yeah. I feel like my gratitude also is gonna have to be to Marcus for talking us out of my epic fails, but also Sunshine just for basically being a puffed up cat the whole time. I could visualize it, and the concern was written all over Chelsea's face.
I was gonna say that was gonna be, you stole mine, Maggie, was because it looked like Chelsea was actually like in physical pain through most of
so
the session.
animated. Oh my God.
I was a little upset when Chelsea was actually not there when you said that they walked back into the room, because I was totally just gonna have Lyra offer her the wine and see how pissed she got at me.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
Oh, that's great.
She would have gotten super pissed.
Yeah.
Swatted your hand, swatted the drink out of your hand with her tail. Like, what are you doing?
I told you, I was like, if she was here, she'd swap me with
She,
tail.
yeah, Maggie called it. She's like, no, she'd swat it out of my hand with her tail or something like that.
No,
Nope.
it was tremendous.
Yes.
So, since Maggie stole mine, my gratitude for tonight is going to be to Gail and to Riley for taking my plan and enacting it with grace and alacrity and putting my first casting of invisibility ever to some really epic use.
yeah,
nice work,
true,
guys.
True.
Yeah. When we did that.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, we did that.
It was awesome.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Chelsea, aka Sunshine, for the intense amount of caring for Smatters. Like, just like you could actually feel the concern. It was really good. I liked it.
Very true.
I need y'all to know, I told my mom about Smatters. And
How'd that
she's
go?
so happy. She really appreciated what you did to like make Smatters like bond with me.
That's
So,
awesome.
Maybe one day you'll meet a real world Smatters, and there you go to help you.
I can only hope not.
Oh.
We'll make it happen.
I don't know how you guys picture him or her, but the only way I see Smatters is the horse from Tangled.
Mine's kind of
Aw.
similar. I picture it kind of like the Pegasus from Hercules. But,
That's what I was picturing.
That really dainty, kind of horse move, but really badass too. Like gets the hooves up and ready to fight. Like,
And just this really super cheesy smile.
Yep.
Yeah.
they're basically like brothers. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
those horses are so alike.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
it's awesome.
And mine, I think, has to go to Mike for putting up with all of us, because I'm pretty sure we ruined all of his plans he had for the night.
True.
Well, where that could normally be the gratitude every week, I think it also is echoed by the fact that this the most of us that have been together since pretty much the start. Like other
I
than
think
that
so.
first one.
I
think so.
since the first session.
Yeah,
the first
since session
had
1, right?
A few, I think, Alex, and then everyone else that was here. But this is the most since that
Yeah.
first session.
That worked out pretty nice. So yeah, definitely on the back of Ryan's there, I would say, given this session. Yeah.
Hashtag slow burn, man. Slow
Yeah.
burn.
Demons. Damn it.
Tiptoe, invisibility, sneak. Holy fuck, what's gonna happen to Smatters? Demons. Peace.
If anything happens to Smatters, I quit.
Oh,
Damn.
No, you can't quit.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so also thank you all for bearing with me as I really tried to like make sure no one sat there for too long, but when you're split over like two or three different parties.
You did great, man.
Oh yeah.
I tried to keep you all engaged as much as I could.
No, that was pretty solid. Yeah. No, well done.
I mean, we were all on tenterhooks over Smatters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. Well, 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I imagine, are you going to stop Zencaster so we can start our uploads to you?
Yeah. Let me do that.
I know that takes a little bit, especially since this is a over 3 hour and 40-minute one.
Wait, what do we have to do?
Yeah, just hang out in the Zencaster for a little bit. It's just
Okay.
MP3s today, so it shouldn't take as long as last time.
It'll let you know,
Oh,
like the
there it
moment
goes.
he just stopped it now, I got 2 things that said it wasn't done, and then it goes, it's done. So
Yeah.
I think it tries to upload the whole time or something, because that was quick.
Yeah, mine just finished too.
Yeah, everybody says all audio uploaded.
Yeah.
I finalized mine already because my browser and my whole
that's
PC
right. Yeah, I had the same thing
crapped
happen
out.
last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Very
was fun.
cool. Nice. Well, there. Done deal.
Sweet.
Well, all right then, everybody.
Alrighty, Roo.
Ryan,
See you next
you got to
week.
tell
I
us
expect
what your
lots of
one-shot is.
speculation in the Facebook group about what the hell we're about to encounter.
I'm super pumped about that.
Should be interesting.
Chris, are you going to Gen Con?
I am.
Excellent. We'll have to
Boo.
see if we can get together. Maggie
Yeah.
is crying.
I'll be there wandering around. I just can't get in because I didn't pay for a pass because money is
Yeah,
a thing.
yeah. That sucks. We can still play games though.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I've never actually been to Gen Con, so we'll see.
It's a good time. Super good time.
Yeah.
Many
Maybe-
fun.
Maybe I'll see you guys because I'll be in the area.
Maybe.
I was gonna say,
Done.
are you gonna be in town tomorrow or later today? I guess we're already into Saturday.
Me, no.
Okay. So I know my library is probably still gonna give away passes tomorrow.
Oh, come on. Whatever.
I guess I could go down there and cosplay to get one, but I probably wouldn't win.
Oh.
You delightful dorks. Have a great night since I can't go to your Gen Con.
Bye, Matt.
Right.
All right, I gotta
See you guys
I gotta
later.
sign off too.
Yeah.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you for a fun time,
Bye.
everyone.
All right,
Good night.